The AFL has ruled out a captain's challenge after umpires missed a touched call in the closing moments of Carlton's win over Freo. The non-decision saw Matthew Cottrell take a mark and kick the goal to put the Blues in front. And Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham has moved into the EPL top 4 after beating Nottingham Forest 3-1. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon at Salisbury North. Got some flooding there. Manara Drive near Paratta Street. At Vale Park, cars gone into a wall. Harris Road near Ascot Avenue. Glenelg East to crash there. Anzac Highway near 3rd Avenue. And a burst water main at Richhaven. North East Road near Carter Street. Speeds at 40. A few cameras this afternoon. Bundy's Road North Adelaide. And got another on Main South Road Adelaide. School's nearly out and adventures are in at Discovery Parks. With year-round experiences for the whole family, get in quick to secure your holiday booking at Discovery Parks. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Showers this afternoon, cloudy tomorrow 19, Wednesday cloudy 21, Thursday partly cloudy 22. Right now it's 18 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Braglis. Tonight, gather in the Barossa. The SA round breaks new ground for 2025. See the shocking footage. Stacey Lee's home ransacked in a brazen daylight raid. How customers will benefit from game-changing rules to hit the big supermarkets. Millions more seats in a Qantas frequent flyer shake-up. And the weight loss drug now showing benefits for heart disease. 9 News. Your news, 9 at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. The 5AA Sports Show.
Get around the little fella!
Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
Pick the beauty!
5 after 4 on this Monday. What a magical weekend it was. Yet another gather round in the books here in Adelaide. The weather was turned up to the max. How much did you enjoy it? We'd love to hear from you on this Monday footy review. Stephen Rowe, Tim Jennifer, good afternoon.
Thank you, Sammy. Yeah, gather round Mark II, let's call it. It has concluded another resounding success, I think, by every measure. The footy was even good. Some close games. Port Friday night, outstanding. We'll get to that with Treaders after 5. The weather was simply superb. I think the only person that didn't read the script was me and the Adelaide Footy Club. Timmy, welcome.
Oh, thank you very much, Stephen. Yeah, if you compare it to last year, which we feel like it was a bit of a rush, I reckon this year they just about ticked every box, I reckon.
God, it was great. Hey, before we get into that at more depth, well done. We beat Victoria.
Oh, yeah, the state game, yeah. Yes, no doubt.
Well, I was worried early, Timmy.
I thought I was good off the half back. But I got to admit, I thought Victoria, for the small preparation time they've had, they haven't played state footy since 2017, I think, but 16 against us. I actually thought they put together a really good squad. They played very disciplined footy. They were good early, especially around. I thought they mopped up every loose ball there was to eat up, and in the end, I thought our forwards and our backs probably held us in there for a while until our mids started to really work. And so it was a good, tough win in the end, and well done to the boys. Congratulations.
I heard you keep the job. As long as you win, you keep the job.
Yeah. Winner plays on. Is it a bit like the pool table? Yeah. The winner plays on. I love it.
Now, and the other big news today, the Barossa Valley will host a game in Lyndoch after announcing a $40 million redevelopment. Here's our Premier, Peter Malinauskas.
I don't think it'll only be the people that come to the footy that'll soak up the Barossa. This will highlight the Barossa, and what we've got to be interested in is the legacy beyond the weekend of footy. You know, Gather Round will take up one weekend out of 52 in the year. What we're interested in is what we can do beyond that.
Well, that's exactly right. We'll speak to him after 5 with Treaders. Superb news. It's a great region. I just want it locked away forever. And I'm going to say that, the Premier, if Essendon and Collingwood can own Anzac Day, this is ours.
Yeah, my only thing on that is sometimes just you've got to be careful of event fatigue. And sometimes that can happen. And I remember towards the end of our Formula One, we were losing money on it, and it's probably why it got taken away to Melbourne. But
no, we had sooks in some certain suburbs that said they didn't want it because the roads were closed.
I particularly loved it, but sometimes you've got to be careful of it. You can get an event fatigue. So I'd still look, if they said, look, you got the next 4, I'd be pretty happy with that and go, right, well, there's eight games. I think the other challenges with the other cities is what brings it up. Now, I saw this ridiculous proposal about, having a gather round in Sydney and having a
There'll
gather
be one
round.
in Victoria, maybe then Tasmania on the Labor Day weekend. The second one will be in Sydney across the Easter weekend. The third will be in Perth, which will rotate with Adelaide. Oh, please.
You know what? You've just found a nice little golden goose that you can put into the beginning of
Don't cook it.
Don't cook it straight
Don't cook
away. The greed is not good. This is not the 80s.
No.
Okay, so don't do it. Yeah. Just make sure you get this and continue to do it really well and make everybody come along. Yeah. It was superb. I mean, your family came from the West.
My brother was here with his two boys. Didn't see a lot of him because he went to about 5 games. He loved it. Went to the state game, which was great. Went down to the parade. God, how big was that last night?
Massive.
Poked our head in. That was
good, though, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
It's what they needed.
Now, great for Nord, and my club will make money, and the region and all the hoteliers and the restaurateurs will be wrapped. I really do think the suburban ground needs to be shared.
Yeah, and it will. I think eventually there will be a bit of that happening.
You could do it at Port. You could do it on Jetty Road. You could do it on Prospect Road. You can do it.
Yeah, it can happen. There's no doubt about that.
Anyway, have your say about that. Premier, as we said, we'll speak to him after 5. If one comes in, one might have to go.
Someone's going to have to miss out somewhere to be able to accommodate games in the Barossa, but we're going to be willing to be flexible and move around. I wouldn't rule out a game in the Adelaide Hills just yet. I certainly wouldn't rule out a game at the Parade just yet.
Well, that's good news. Did he say games in the Barossa? Not game.
There was definitely a plural, and I definitely highlighted that. Yes, with S on the end. But I think what happened last night at Norwood was probably where you can still have that twilight sort of game into the street festival. Yep. I think that really is a nice synergy and works well, but I still think there's room to play another one suburbanly.
Fantastic. I can't help but link this with what Jeremy Finlayson did on Friday. It's not alleged. He's admitted to it and he's apologised. We'll play it. Taylor Walker copped a 6-week suspension, a $20,000 fine and counselling for his racial slur. That was heard by a club's water boy. That's what he was. It was in a Samford game. It wasn't directed to the victim. It was said to a teammate, and that was a massive, massive penalty. And I went, not out on a limb, I defended that to the hilt. What? What did that dude get for St Kilda that he knocked the bloke
Jimmy Webster
senseless?
got 7.
Well, he got 7. He got 7. Tex get 6. So Jeremy Finlayson, he made a homophobic comment to a player in a game in the heat of the battle and directed to him. And I'm not saying for 1 second he deserves 6. Taylor didn't, but that's the template. Finlayson, lovely fella, self-reported, great awareness, apologised straight away. They're all things you're taught to do and learnt to do when you make a mistake. When I've been sued, I've been out the next morning and I've apologised. It's a written, prepared statement, if you like, and, you've got to show some real, what's the word?
Remorse.
And Jeremy Finlayson certainly did that. But for me, if Tex got 6, he has to get 6. Here's Jeremy Finlayson's apology yesterday.
I take full responsibility of what happened on Friday night. I addressed it at 3/4 time, and the words I used is very unacceptable in the game of football. We need to stamp it out, and I'm very remorseful. I knew straight away that it's not acceptable, and I take full responsibility of that. And I addressed it at the time, and moved on, and just let everyone know what happened, and it's in the hands of the AFL to investigate.
Well, it is. They haven't handed anything down yet, so they're deliberating. A homophobic slur is clearly as damaging as a racist one. They come under the exact same AFL policy. It's 6 weeks, it's $20,000, and it's education. Close the book.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll wait for that decision as well to come out and see how they handle it. But I did hear David Koch just, what would you say, trying to give his slant on it. We'll just have a listen now.
If you look at comparisons, and benchmarks have got to be set with 55-year-old coach, premeditated, target the player, walk up to them, is very different to a player in the heat of battle when there was a lot of niggle in the game, the pressure. Again, absolutely no excuse, not condoning it, whatever, and should not be part of the game. But if you're going to look at a comparison, that would be the benchmark.
If I put it to you, it's in the same category as Taylor Walker's racial slur. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, I don't think that's realistic.
Why not?
Because I think the benchmark has already been set in terms of
with Alistair
Clarkson,
which some people I thought was too light.
Right. Okay, but the benchmark's been set.
Do you agree with that comment?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, he's protecting his player.
He's a chairman, and he's defending.
Of course he is.
And you sort of understand that he's not defending the comment. He's just saying that he wants to try and compare it to the Alistair
But the
Clarkson
benchmark
one.
is Taylor Walker.
It'll come down to what the actual slur was, and then they'll compare that with what the policy says, and they'll come up with the figure from there. And you know,
I bet you $1 million he doesn't get 6 weeks and 20 grand. I bet you $1 million.
I think he'll get weeks. And I think he's expecting weeks.
Taylor got 6.
And he's expecting weeks. So
okay,
let's see how that plays out. But either way, for Jeremy, I think you're right. From here, it's about education straight away. But 2, you'll have some time to think about it. And 3, that's fair and reasonable.
But Pembo grizzled with me this morning. No, they're different. Walker was a racial slur. This is a homophobic slur. Aren't they the same?
Oh no, I think
they're under the same
I think he was more arguing about the fact that he was arguing with you, and I heard him say it took a long time for them to come out and say, yeah, this happened, or he was more worried about it, that it was more so trying to not be admitted to, rather than where he's just fallen on the sword and said, no, I know it was wrong. So I think that's what he was arguing. He wasn't arguing.
Okay, gets 1 week off.
Because you're right.
Showing
to call somebody
earlier.
Who is homosexual a name that we assume it has is equal to a racial slur.
What if the player had called Finlayson, who's a proud Indigenous lad?
It's the same thing. That's what I'm saying.
Enter keyword
here. It is on.
There you go. Yeah. So it's 6 weeks.
Path.
It's 6 weeks. What's an appropriate penalty if Tex got 6? What should Jeremy get? And I'm not saying for 1 second he deserves that or gets it. That's the comparison. Now, when this happened, I said straight off the bat, it's a fine. And it's a suspended sentence, and it's education, not 6 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I
wonder what Scoop you do say.
They have made a
rod for their back.
Well, not a rod for their back. They've made a
statement.
They've made a statement, and you know what? Sometimes
a benchmark.
Sometimes it has to be as severe as that to get the result through.
Okay. 82230000. We've got a $50 Powers voucher to give away. Friday night, Port Adelaide were nothing short of sensational. I thought that midfield, Connor Rowey, 10 coaches' votes. Jason Horne-Francis got the 8. Zach Butter's probably got the next lot. That midfield is now the envy of our state. And I sit there going, what's my bloody club done?
I sat there and look, I remember
they were outstanding.
A lot of people take to leadership in different ways.
Yep.
I always felt that Connor would enjoy it. It's been a really good start for him, and it'll give him a lot of confidence moving forward that he knows that he can perform underneath that captaincy. So, but I've got to say, it's probably the best game I've ever seen him play.
Oh, God, he was
and
good.
He was incredibly electric. And I think Treader's made the comment Friday night. Jason Horne-Francis has played the best, two-vote game you've ever seen in your life, because he was incredible.
Wasn't
and
he?
I think you've also got to throw in, Zach Butter, especially second half, but Ivan Soldo's given them, like I said, if we can get 50%, look, it'll make a massive difference to this electric. It's an electric midfield.
Electric. It's electric.
It was pleasing to watch. Look, Ken Hinkley, he spoke about Rosie's first half, and I love the word he uses.
I've seen him play some pretty good games already, but not that good. Not in the first half particularly. I mean, it was outrageous what he was doing, so great young captain.
Have you say Port supporters lines available? He's a great young captain. Did the Mitch, Charlie, Jeremy, Todd forward line work? We'll put that to Treaders afterwards. And I said this again to the Brecky team. Is the ladder taking shape? I hope not, Timmy. GWS, Melbourne, Sydney, Carlton, Geelong all on 4 wins. Port just under them with 3 and a close lock. That's the 6. I can't see any of them dropping out. Collingwood and Brisbane are coming. So there's probably your 8. The other end of the ladder, 4 teams, no wins. Eagles, North, Hawks and Crows. The only consolation there is we're 4th bottom with a better percentage. 0-4.
But you have to start winning.
Oh,
yeah. Yep.
I can't believe we're round, 5 and I'm...
Well, we don't know what round it is.
And if anybody rings...
Let's be honest, we don't know what round
and
it is.
And does any Owen jokes with me, I tell you what, I will spew up.
So is that knocking on the door? We
no.
won't go there.
No.
18 minutes after 4, 5 o'clock tonight, we are going to have Warren Treadray join us in here as we speak to the Premier Peter Malinauskas on the back of what was yet another exciting gather round. We've got Ben Keys from the Crows, Josh Carr from Port Adelaide. Zack Clough's going to join us later as well from Adelaide United. They are surging late in the season, 4 games to go. And your calls as well, 8223 0000. We've got the lines open for you on this Monday footy review. Get your thoughts in, a $50 Pals voucher up for grabs.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Treadray, second chance, goal!
Port Adelaide straight shooter Warren Treadray talks footy with Rowey and Timmy every Friday thanks to Ignition for Men, Amani, Canali, Zegna. Find them all at Ignition for Men, Adelaide's home of luxury menswear, 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
Don't just send it, ace it.
If your current job is driving you bonkers, get outdoors and hit the road. ACET Transport Solutions is growing and they need more drivers to keep their promise of perfect service. So, if you want a career that'll take you places, get in touch with the team at ACET Transport Solutions. Visit acettransport.au.
Don't just send it, ACET.
Back in '69, Frank Hutchison started a journey when he met Bill King, who ran a remote travel business. King needed four-wheel drive parts so strong, so reliable, they'd make the return trip after enduring the rigours of the Aussie outback. This forged Terrain Tamer's beginnings. Over 50 years later, Frank and his team continue to innovate and create parts strong enough to survive the toughest terrains on the planet. And best of all, the customer is still king. Terrain Tamer, parts that will get you home.
Now, Ray, I'm sure you've got a swear jar that might be a little topped up at home, but there's a swear jar that is full of goodness, and that one is the swear jar at Bi-Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, full of pledges, promises that the whole team at Bi-Urban, well, it's things they swear to do, and they always keep their promises.
Oh, their Rippers Coxie was with me today. He's a busy beaver.
Yeah.
Trying to get a lot of jobs out. So
that's good.
Here's one that was sent straight from the Bi-Urban swear jar. It's from Jasmine, the operations manager at Bi-Urban. Jasmine is like a human dynamo, the driving force behind the success of all their bathroom renovation projects. She makes it happen.
I love it.
She'll get all the great tradesmen there, but she makes it happen. Jasmine swears to ensure all the trades arrive on time every time, and that's no mean feat, but Jasmine makes it happen day in, day out. I don't know what she's got on her.
That's exceptional.
But she's got something
She's doing it well. For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Bi-Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens. They're Adelaide's home renovation experts.
When your emergency can't wait, neither should you. At Calvary Adelaide's Emergency Department, you'll experience shorter wait times before receiving personalised care from experienced specialists. With Adelaide's only 24-hour private emergency department, Calvary provides emergency care at any time with no time spared. For fast, specialist private emergency care, get care 24/7. At the Calvary Adelaide Emergency Department, 120 Angus Street, Adelaide.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. After months of waiting, our all-new Mirage Italian-made floor tiles are now in store at a once-only introductory saving of $30 per square metre. That's right, as a once-only introductory offer, save $30 per square metre on these magnificent all-new Italian-made floor tiles. But only, yes, only for this first shipment. So rush into National Tiles now and save.
There's a lot to love about learning just about anything with WEA. Real-time, face-to-face learning with like-minded people. For the adventurers, take an introduction to karate or dance through the ages learning Baroque, Renaissance and Regency dancing. Visit wea-sa.com.au.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
22 minutes after 4. We're taking your calls on this Monday footy review. Jeremy Finlayson to talk about. We've got Gather Round to reflect on and the Barossa next year. And maybe even the Crows who are 0-4. Get your thoughts out of the way. 8223 0000. Let's check your traffic for Rossdale Homes, the custom home, 2-story, split-level specialists.
G'day there, it's Salisbury North. Got some flooding. Manara Drive near Paratus Street. At Vale Park, cars getting into a wall there. Harris Road near Ascot Avenue. And got a crash at Munno Para, Main North Road near Curtis Road. First Watermaker Ridgehaven to look out for North East Road near Carter Street. Speeds at 40 with cameras Briar Road, Felixstowe and Commercial Road at Seaford. Nothing beats a day out on the water with the Isuzu D-Max in stock. Your next adventure awaits. Visit your local Isuzu ute dealer today to discover the range. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Hello, Steve.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey, Steve.
I just wanted to give a comment on Jeremy Finlayson. Before that, firstly, Gather Round was just spectacular. I think you can only have it in one state, because if you have it everywhere else, people will choose which one to go to, so that'll ruin it for everyone. But on Finlayson, I think you've got to take into consideration his... the way in which he's acted, his early behaviour. If you look at the judicial system, if you plead guilty early, if you do all that, you're looking at a 40% reduction. So why wouldn't you look at that sort of behaviour and conduct from that side?
They may well do that, Steve. I think, however they bring their investigation to a close, they'll find out all the evidence and what's not, and they may well say, well, on the basis of you coming forward and self-reporting and all that sort of thing, they may well say, okay, well, here's the number. Yeah. We might reduce it by 1-2 games.
There's a lot of text along this line, and Jesse will come to you. The difference between Walker and Finlayson is one person was made to apologise when they were caught out, and the other one owned up. That's one. And the other one is if the player that Finlayson directed the comments to is not gay, then no, Stephen, it's not the same as Taylor Walker. Well, Taylor Walker didn't say it to Young. He said it to a teammate. And what does it matter if he's gay or not? It's the words.
Yeah, and you don't know whether that person is, and they have a right not to.
Yeah, if I'm in my office
say they are,
and I'm telling a story, and I use that word that starts with F and ends in T.
Yeah, you can be in trouble.
And one of the girls or boys behind me hears it.
Yep.
It's as bad as saying it to them.
You've done your training. Well done.
I've done my training.
I'm glad you remembered
Gee,
that.
I'm getting better.
Let's go to Lights View and talk to Jesse.
Better.
What's your thoughts, Jesse?
Hey, guys. The credibility of the AFL will be questioned if they are not consistent with the findings. Now, we don't know what's been said, but let me tell you, if Alistair Clarkson copped the fine with no suspension or anything
two
like that.
2 games suspended sentence, so if he does it again, he gets an automatic 2, but go on, Jesse.
An automatic 2. I believe that... it shouldn't be 6 weeks. Look, at the end of the day, with racism, no matter what's been said, with racism, they're hot on it. It's out. Now, in the context of what he said, the important thing here is what was said back. He wouldn't have just willy-nilly said it. Something would have been said back. And like Walker's situation, they never ever revealed what that player said, right, to a teammate of his, for Walker to say what he actually said. What's important here is they need to say, well, someone just doesn't willy-nilly say that. Something's insinuated him to say it. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that is very important in the whole context. Before you're going to throw out fines and suspensions, you need to find out what the other person said and what the dialogue was as complete. Because I think Walker's situation, let me tell you, from what I'm hearing, look, he got emotional. He said what he said in a reactive, and I wish they had said what he actually said to his teammate, because that changes the ball game. That is just as offensive.
Well, Jesse, I know exactly what was said and how it transpired, because I've spoken to Taylor and Matt Crouch, who was the player he was directing that to, and I'm absolutely amazed and miffed. That's why I went so hard he shouldn't get 6 weeks. But what are you saying also, Jess, and other people on the text line, Unique Homeside text line? So is racial vilification worse than a homophobic slur, or are they same? Surely they're same.
They would be.
They come under the same policy.
I think they'd be on the same level.
Well, they'd have to be.
Let's go to Dan at Craigmont.
Yeah, hi there. I was going to talk about this homophobic slur, but I'm over it. What I'm annoyed with is what Lee Matthews and Chris Scott had to say about the gather round. How they say it's unfair that Port Adelaide get a home game when the Crows get a home game. I mean, honestly, I did the maths. I did every single round. The Victorian teams get 6 away games, except for Richmond and Melbourne, which they get 7, and North Melbourne get 5. The 2 WA teams get 11, the Crows and Port get 10. How is that unfair?
Well, it's not. Here, have a listen to Lee Matthews.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. The 2 Adelaide teams can't continue to get an extra home state game just because it's gather round. And because, oh yeah, we already want the 2 showdowns. Well, that's great. If you want gather round, one of the showdowns should be part of gather round, because I tell you what, the other 16 clubs in the competition, they don't mind going. They'll accept going to get the gather round, but they're not going to accept that continually that Port and Crows get an extra home game.
Okay, we split the gate then. We get all the commercial dollars.
Well, that's what it's about. What Lee isn't understanding there, it'd be all very well to say, yeah, that's the way to solve it. But commercially, Port and the Crows would make a cent on their showdown. Yeah. It'd go straight to the AFL.
Correct.
Now, if you're prepared to give us 100% of that money,
we'll do it.
Both clubs would say, yes, thanks very much. We'll take that, because they would absolutely clean up.
And then the extra game is at the MCG.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And thank you, Dan, for bringing it up. Have your cake and eat it. Only if you're Victorian, apparently.
Yeah. Well, they've had the cake, baked the cake, eat the cake, and ordered another one.
And then they've got the cake till 2059.
29 after 4. Keep your calls coming in. We love your thoughts on this Monday, 8223 0000.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Well, let's go now to a triumphant Premier, the morning after the party that was Gather Round in South Australia. But Premier, it sounds like another big announcement.
You're a prophet, Will. You're a prophet.
That's why they pay the big bucks. That's it.
No, we've been working with the AFL for some time on getting a game with the Barossa. I've made no secret about that.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
The whole state stepped up to the plate on the weekend.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon. Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. A 14-year-old boy has been arrested over a break-in at Allenby Gardens. Preparations are already underway in the Barossa for Gather Round 2025 after confirmation they'll host at least one game. A major review is recommending massive fines for supermarkets who mistreat suppliers, but the opposition says it'll do little to bring down consumer prices. And in sport, Brodie Kostecki will make his supercars return in New Zealand later this month. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon, look out for a crash today at Vale Park. Cars gone into a wall there, Harris Road near Ascot Avenue. Another collision at Goodwood Road near Albert Street, and Ridgehaven to Burst Watermain North East Road near Carter Street. Got speeds at 40 k's. Cameras Bry Road, Felixstowe and McGill Road at McGill. The King Living Autumn Sale ends soon. Save up to 50% on selected Australian Design Award-winning furniture. Sale ends soon. Visit the King Living Keswick showroom today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
A shower or two tonight, down to 11, cloudy tomorrow and 20. Right now it's 16 degrees. We'll have more news at 5 and as it happens on 5AA.
In tough times, it's the simple things that make a big difference. Like $19 schnitzel days at the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and the Lighthouse Wharf. We know the humble schnitty can't fix all our problems, but we do know it'll put a smile on your dial. $19 schnitty, Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and the Lighthouse Wharf. Making the world a better place, one schnitty at a time. Got to start somewhere. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
This doesn't sound like a conference. This doesn't sound like a work trip. And this doesn't sound like team building. Because conferences and events sound different with Discovery Events. With amazing venues in special places across Australia, including Adelaide Hills, Victor Harbour, Nagambie Lakes, Rottnest Island and Byron Bay. Sound great? Visit discoveryevents.com.au, your destination for premier venues in unique locations across Australia.
Well, La Vida, don't we love this joint?
Oh, yeah.
It is an absolute treasure in the West. So do yourself a favour, pop in for a mouth-watering lunch or dinner, and once you have, like us, you'll go back again and again and
Just
again.
love it. I tell you, the mouth-watering Italian cuisine, the entire range of pizzas from the pizzeria, they're all brilliant, and Anthony fires that pizza oven up from 5 p.m. So if you're heading home, grab yourself a couple of takeaways. They are beaut.
I love the warm, friendly family atmosphere. They got Rachel and Anthony, their entire team. You go in there, they'll remember your name.
Oh,
they'll
they're
remember your
brilliant.
wife's name. They'll know where you sat. They'll know what your favourite meals are.
Entertain you.
I just love warmth like that.
Exactly. It's just like being around the dining room
It is.
table, isn't it?
It is.
Brilliant stuff. Perfect place for functions as well. If you've got a birthday, a christening, engagement, you know, something at your best and fairest at the sport club. They can cater up to 200 guests with 3 separate areas available to do so. So that's brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Levita, open Tuesday to Sunday for lunch and dinner, 342 Grange Road, Kidman Park. You know what? You'll love it.
Living independently is an important part of life. For those who need accommodation in a thriving environment with support and care available, Always Care is always there. We'll match your loved one with suitable housemates and disability support workers to ensure they enjoy independent living in a supportive community. If you or a loved one requires accommodation with care, Always Care is NDIS approved and passionate about helping all live their life to the fullest. Find out more at alwayscare.com.au.
What starts with A and ends with E? Supplements for you and me.
Arbor Vitae health supplements are now available at Chemist Warehouse for just $49.99 a bottle. You save over $19 a bottle at Chemist Warehouse.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
It's 26 minutes to 5. Get your calls in for Treaders. He's coming in at 5 o'clock. You can line up now. Premier Peter Malinauskas is also going to join us then too. And it's our Monday footy review. What burns most passionately, opinion-wise, on the back of another great football weekend? 8223 0000, $50 Powers voucher up for grabs.
Hello, Trace.
G'day, guys. How are you?
Good, thanks, Trace. Good weekend.
Yeah, not too bad. Thursday night was crap, but the rest of the weekend was fantastic.
Good news for you, other than Thursday.
Yeah. I just want to talk a bit on what Jeremy Finlayson said. I have been out for 30-odd years. Now, what he said has a bigger picture. If it's just a fine, it's a slap on the wrist. And when I say a slap on the wrist, that is saying to the greater community, it's okay.
Yeah.
And what scares me is the amount of youth suicides is because of sexuality. It's 1 in 3 youth suicides is because of sexuality. This is not helping. I know that he apologised, but he said it, and that's what gets me. There's a big picture here, and this is just one little part of it.
Yeah, thanks, Trace. A lot of people have that.
Yeah, spot on, Trace. And I think that's
It's a
why I'm
delicate,
saying
tough one.
that, exactly that. The biggest fear for youth that want to come out is the fact that they don't feel safe to come out.
Yeah, they do. Keep your comments coming in. Let's go to Ranella. Adrian.
G'day, Roy. How you going?
We're all yours.
Mate, just to follow up on the bloke earlier about Lee Matthews and cake and, Victorians being able to eat them and all that stuff. Yeah, it's if it has to be a showdown, why don't we have 3 showdowns? Why don't we? Because we're not going to be able to take away a home showdown for each club. Their members deserve their own game. If the Buffhead Victorians want to tell us what's what, beautiful. The fixture's fixed. We know that. Let's have 3.
Yeah.
Done.
Adrian, it's
done.
I don't know that there was too much thought put into that other than, we'll remove a home game from them. That was their whole blindsidedness to saying that. One, commercially, but 2, you're dead right, Adrian. It's a home game for each club that then manages that, and they've, you're not taking that away, and they're saying, you can't have that. Well, there's a lot of, as we know, there's a lot of advantages to being a club in Victoria.
Have you say, lines available 8223 Just to pivot here, Wink's first foal went for $10 million today. $10 million. Now, there's no guarantee it could even race. It could get spooked. There's a lot of things could happen with racehorses. Roll an ankle if you like. I had one, got bitten by a spider, had to put it down, get a temperature. So that is a $10 million gamble, isn't it? And the likeness is this. It's no different than, let's pick someone. Dawn Fraser had a daughter. Could her daughter swim like she could?
No.
There's no guarantees.
No guarantee in life. The only thing they do a lot of work in the bloodlines and the like. I think that the next foal she has is out of a horse called Schnitzel, who was a champion as well. So they do a lot of
the
homework
odds
on
are-
that.
the odds are-
They odds go up,
They
but
go up.
it's still no guarantee. You're dead right, mate.
Have you say 8223000. Hello, Ange.
G'day, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good, buddy.
Why don't we do a survey on all the players that played this round in Adelaide, and how about asking them how much they enjoyed it, and having these dinosaurs commenting about, it's an extra game where Collingwood played 26 games at home a year and things like that. Ask the players what they think.
A lot of them fly in and fly out, but
Yeah, I must admit, though, I saw 3 training sessions because I was down the bay doing the state stuff all week. Fremantle trained there. Hawthorn trained there. Carlton trained there, and they said...
Well, Hawthorn was directly after the state game.
Correct.
I sat back and had a little Bo Peep.
And it was enormous, and the actual fans had this opportunity to have their AFL club, if they're coming from elsewhere, right there in front of them on a suburban ground. And all of the players, I reckon, really took to it. So I'm with Ange. If they did a survey, I think it'd get a real big tick, almost 100%. Let's go. Murta. G'day, Murta.
Hi, Timmy. How are you?
Good, excellent. Have you got a comment today on the Finlayson slur?
Yes, I have. I just want to know what's happened to what he says in the ground that stays there. What's happened to that?
Yeah, well, it unfortunately...
Went out now, murder.
Well, it did, that's right. And what they are trying to do is stamp out a lot of the stuff that used to happen, murder, and that's probably why that rule's not applying here. But it was also caught on an umpire's microphone as well, murder, so that'll be used. I know earlier one of our callers was saying, you've got to get all the evidence. Well, they can, because it's actually been recorded.
So you're old school like me, Murder?
Pardon?
You old school like me?
I am, very much so. But look, new rules are new rules, and it's got to be respected. But what I was just asking, because some people comparing, well, you were one of them, comparing 6 weeks to Tex and 6 weeks to him. Now, it's completely different situation altogether. You can't compare apples with pears. So, in my opinion, he has to have a punishment, yes. There's no tolerance for any abuse of any kind. So it has to be dealt with. But why start judging a footballer that has, says straight away he regrets it, he's remorseful, and everything else? And it's easy to do because he knew he made a mistake. And everybody's trying to make their own opinion and judge and everything else. Just let it ride. I'm sure the AFL will make the right decision, whatever that might be.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
That'll play out.
Thanks, Murder. Great call.
So, Robbo, Mark Robinson said, if not the AFL, Port Adelaide must stand down Jeremy Finlayson this week. So the AFL, he believes that they were a bit soft-handed when it came to the Alistair Clarkson suspended fine that he got received about, start of the year from the pre-season?
When did Robbo become the AFL?
Well, he's suggesting
when
the
did
AFL.
When did he become the AFL?
Well, everyone's got an opinion here, Tim. That's what we've got
Well,
the lines open for.
Let's go to Dave at North Haven. G'day, Dave.
Timmy and Rowey. Listen, this Finlayson thing. Now, before I go to Finlayson, you've seen the TV ads in the last couple of months or 6 months. They got blokes kissing each other. They got girls kissing each other. They got dildos on the show on TV, normal TV. Yeah, I don't want to.
Oh, keep going, Dave. Just we can't have that.
Yes.
The D word, but keep going.
You still there?
Yeah. Okay. You can't mention that other word, but you know which one it is. So keep going.
Rowey, if someone called you a homosexual or something, what are you going to do about it?
Oh, it wouldn't worry me because I'm not, but it affects people that listen.
I'm old school. If you don't like it, see each other at the back of the grandstand and sort it out. But, let's just say you're a heterosexual. I don't think you're a homosexual, Rowey, but let's just say you're a heterosexual, right?
Yep.
And someone called you something heterosexual. What is that? Is that any different?
Well, yeah, it is because it doesn't offend me, but homophobic slurs offend that, lean of...
Yep, absolutely. Yep. And I think to earlier Tracy's point is for those that are, especially youth, who are trying to come out, they don't feel comfortable in coming out and saying it because they're frightened of getting called names.
Dave, I know where you're coming from, and the old me understands that. But I work for a company called Nova Entertainment.
That's correct.
We're owned by a bloke called Lockie Murdoch. And I'm not saying he's woke, but our policies are as strict as anything. That I can sit at my desk and have a personal conversation with Timmy, and I could use a homophobic slur or I could use a racist slur, as sometimes could slip out my gob because I'm loose and I've got to get better. If somebody overhears that, or even you, Timmy, don't like it, you can report me and I'm in all sorts of trouble. Now, that's the world we're in, Dave. You can do it at a coffee shop, at a restaurant.
I would tell you straight away, don't I?
But that's right.
I would say it straight away.
I've seen people picked up on a bus for making a comment, talking to their partner or friend next to them. The other said, hey, that's offensive. Don't talk like that in my company. I've got a daughter who's at school. She's a scholar and she teaches young kids. I've got a grandson. My daughter says to me, Stephen, don't talk like that. Not Stephen, Dad. Don't talk like that in front of Rory. And I said, well, Rory's 20 months old.
Society's being educated,
That
though,
is where we're at. Now, Dave, you and I, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, have to come to that party, as hard as it may be. I showed you texts from friends of mine that are over 65 that said, what did he say? I told him what they said. He said, what's wrong with that? Did I not? Now, we're not going to mention them,
past era.
but these are people cut from my cloth. It's a past era.
Let's go to Noel at Glenelg. Noel, you're asking a question about Gather Round?
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic, actually, but I'm an avid Hawthorn supporter and I really disagree with Lee Matthews, that's for sure.
Well, good.
But, I mean, we do call it now our workplace, don't we, playing football?
True.
They do.
Yeah, so I worked in construction for 45 years and we worked in that many different places, we just had to adapt. And that's what these footballers have to do. I didn't earn $400,000 a year, though. It was close. But, the footballers don't worry about it. It's all the media's popping it up. It's all these old footballers. This is the modern era. We need to get on with it. This is the best thing that ever happened to South Australia, this Gather Round.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I had a heap of friends over from Victoria, stay here with me. They thought it was absolutely awesome. We went to the state game, went to the Hawthorn training, mate, and they were having a ball.
Yeah, they were, weren't they, Noel? Yeah, I saw that. I could see the joy. And, gee whiz, mate, you just fell short in the game too. Blood. Very close.
Oh, mate. Anyway, I've got a very, very good friend of mine who owns a lot of pubs in Adelaide. He was up in the other grandstand. He was pretty shattered too, but he's an awful fan.
Oh, good on you, Noel. You know what was good walking around town or going out and going to restaurants?
Seeing all the
down
Guernseys.
the Henley Square. Was everyone was wearing
Because I walked down from
colours.
the bay down to Jetty Road and they were everywhere. All different Guernseys. Loved it. That was a real good atmosphere. That's what it brings.
It's a uniting of football. We loved it. 14 minutes to 5. Keep your calls coming in. 8223 0000 is the number. Got a $50 Powers voucher to give away before 5 o'clock. But first, let's check your traffic.
At Glenelg North, look out for a crash. Anzac Highway near Wickley Reserve. Goodwood, another crash there. Goodwood Road near Albert Street. Bridgehaven, Burstwater Main, North East Road near Carter Street. Speeds at 40. And we're slow for works at Seacombe Gardens, Seacombe Road near Morford Road. Cameras Gage Street, Firle and McGill Road at McGill. Can't live without Netflix? Join the AGL Netflix electricity plan with Netflix included for the life of your plan. Visit agl.com.au today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
Don't just send it, ace it.
If your current job is driving you bonkers, get outdoors and hit the road. ACET Transport Solutions is growing and they need more drivers to keep their promise of perfect service. So, if you want a career that'll take you places, get in touch with the team at ACET Transport Solutions. Visit acettransport.au.
Don't just send it, ace it.
Struggling with your CPAP therapy? Try the world's first auto-fitting mask from Fisher & Paykel Healthcare. Respirocare Healthcare is offering the Fisher & Paykel Sleep Style device for 30% off, plus a free solo mask valued at $310. Visit one of 6 Respirocare clinics and mention this ad to redeem this offer. Respirocare Healthcare, proudly serving South Australia for 20 years. When considering whether CPAP is right for you, speak to your doctor. Always follow the directions for use.
Well, if you are a food service business owner or chef, you can't miss the SA Food Service Expo. It's on the 16th of April. That's next Tuesday, presented by Gallipo Foods.
Ah, the legends themselves. This is South Australia's largest food service expo. Now, you will meet directly with 120 manufacturers and sample over 1,000 of the latest food products and access exclusive expo only special pricing.
Well, that is brilliant. Love this, Mob. Plus, meet with the latest equipment and service providers on hand to benefit your business. This is a trade-only event open to any food service business in SA. There'll be door prizes, there'll be ordering, there'll be an expo, 10 grand. Registration is essential. T's and C's obviously apply. gallipofoods.com.au/expo. SA permit T25 456.
That's the SA Food Service Expo presented by Gallipo Foods. It is the Thursday, 16th of April at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. There's free entry and parking, so that's all good. Thanks to Gallipo Foods. They've proudly been voted #1 food service distributor in Australia.
Still thinking about a sea change? Think Oakford Homes in Counter Bay. New stage released and selling fast. A variety of block sizes available in a friendly community with brand new low maintenance homes plus the beach close by. Affordable packages, no surprises, move in now or invest for the future. Fixed price turnkey packages, flat land ready to build. Don't miss out. New stage now released. Visit our display village at Encounter Bay. Oakford Homes, a statement of quality. oakfordhomes.com.au.
Live Golf Adelaide is back, and tickets are selling fast. It's golf, but louder. Don't miss this epic weekend, packed with live music, party vibes, and world-class golfers like Rahm, Smith, and Koepka. Live Golf Adelaide, April 26th to 28th. Get your tickets now at livegolf.com.
Large caramel frappuccino with extra caramel.
Cut through the blah to hear more of what you want. Book an appointment with our audiology professionals for high-definition sound at low Specsavers prices.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
10 minutes to 5, Treaders to join us after 5 o'clock. Line up now, get your calls in for him, 8223 0000. We've got the Premier Peter Malinauskas joining us shortly. Same for Ben Keys and Josh Carr.
Let's go to Prospect. Lines available. Hello, Brian.
G'day, boys. Yeah, just a really quick point. They got the Victorians whinging because one of the South Australian clubs gets one more home game, but no one's considered about the team that does get a home game. Now, in this gather round, that was the Crows. Normally, for an away game for Melbourne, an Adelaide home game, you might get 5,000 Melbourne supporters, but for the gather round, you probably got 15,000 Melbourne supporters, so it takes away some of the advantage of the Crows home game.
Yeah, it's a good point, Brian. I think we can always go back to one thing. The grand final's been signed to 2059 at the MCG. The year that Richmond won the grand final, their last 11 games was on the MCG. Now,
Crimea River is what you're saying?
More. Just say no
Crimea
more.
River.
Say, go and have a look at Collingwood's draw. Go and have a look at,
It's
say
like,
no more.
It's like this magnificent thing's been created. It's successful. It's got better year on year, and they've gone, right,
we want it.
There's an advantage over there.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah,
And
it's
like,
unlikely.
please.
Hello, John.
Yeah, hi guys. Rowey, I'm probably 20 years younger than you, and I can't believe the world we're in at the moment. I feel like you're getting censored to what you're saying. I just believe, the media, what it's doing, the media is controlling everything. It's not great, but that wasn't one of the major reasons I was ringing up. I do hope they don't have a pride round or nothing like that, because then it's bringing politics into sport, which you don't want. But the major one was, I'm an Essendon supporter. Yeah, a lot of people. I'm a South Australian. Go for the Bombers, but yeah, I think it's a good idea that you guys have a showdown, because at least gives the Victorians to come and see the showdown. You guys share it between the Crows and Port, and at least you get an extra home game like that. And I hate going to watch Port and Crows, because I always watch it every week, every year. I want to see Essendon versus Bulldogs or Hawthorn or something different. So that's one of them, and the other one's Finlayson.
like the other lady said, what stays on the sports field stays there. Why? Okay, I know they record it. Why do they record it? Why does umpires wear mics for?
Yeah, well, they've got to be the show, don't they? I'm not too sure why they've got to wear mics.
Well, I think you're mic'd up for coaching purposes, I think, as well.
Yeah.
A lot of broadcasters do broadcast what is happening there.
I've heard them go, let's go down to the boundary and listen to what
and I'm not sure.
Razor Ray say. Who gives a flying?
Well, it's explanation for free kicks too, which I think the viewer likes.
There's that, but I think it's also used for coaching as far as the umpires go.
Now, there's a lot of this as well. Unique Homestyle Food text. Hi, gents. This is from Brian with a Y. What an insult for the long-suffering Crow supporter base having to listen to Rashudo swoon over Port's midfield, given the fact that he and his footy department have totally destroyed our list. We no longer have the faith, and those running the club are remotely competent. Have a great call, guys. Regards, Brian. Now, Brian, I did hear that at halftime, and I thought, well, hang on. Are you the chairman of our list? Aren't you the footy director of our list? Well, have you not been there with your mate Reedy for at least 7 years?
It does always slip into when you have to change hats. And, Eddie did it for 20 years at Collingwood, where he was a sports presenter and caller, and he had to also be the president of his footy club.
No, but I get
that. You have to make comment, don't you?
There was envy and jealousy, but he's got his hands on the controls. For those that didn't hear, have a listen, thanks to Fox.
Are they any good or what? It's pretty hard as a Crows supporter sometimes to say that, but this midfield could be one of the best midfields we've seen for a very long time. We've been talking about it in Adelaide. We've seen Butters and Rowey, but now Horn Francis coming to the club. If he can get his body right and play some great footy, they are going to be one hell of a threesome. With his power and toughness, you got Butters, he's got the toughness and the skill as well, and Rowey, who's kicking goals. I'm not sure how you can stop him. It will be one of the best threesomes in the midfield you've seen at a footy club for a while over the next 10 years. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, now he said that with envy, and there is a bit of envy there, but he has control of that. And I sat there listening to it with, I'm thinking, well, hang on. So I'll go through, and we've done this. This is Adelaide's first round picks since 2016. And a lot of people have asked us to do this. So Jordan Gallucci, we know that one. There was rumours that half the group wanted this and the other half wanted that. But he's no longer at the club. And Tim English was the next big pick that they were debating over. So that's a fail. Darcy Fogarty at pick 12 in 2017. Zach Bailey went to Brisbane not long after. Now he went to PAC. He's an odd kid, all that sort of stuff. Chase Jones was pick 9 in 2018. Immediately after that was Zach Butters. Ned McKenna was pick 16 in 2018. Bobby Hill was not long after that pick. Fisher Mackesy pick 6. Look, we know that one. Immediately after that was Hayden Young or Caleb Sarong, midfielders. Now, the rest, Riley Thilthorpe, I'm hopeful to be a star. Luke Pedler, likewise, pick 11. Rochelle, Michael Ennis and Dan Curtin, we don't know. So park all of those. If we had just got that part of the picks right in that 6-year period, this would be our ruck stocks now. Now, forget that we lost Cameron and Lever and Dangerfield. They're all reasons, because list management is about retention and attraction. And they'll say, well, we got Dawson and Rankin. Well, yeah, the last 2 years. English and ruck, Butters, Sarong and Green would be your midfield. And on the wing, Hill. On the other wing, Zach Bailey. Now, I know immediately that people go, oh, other clubs have the same thing. Everyone. It's not an exact science. 7 years. Now, last year, I don't want it to be fool's gold, because I was hopeful this year that we'd have a great season. And I know it's 0-4 and they've got time. Is this a reality check? I said that. Has it bit hard? And I think the attention ultimately and rightly needs to be turned 100% on our list management and our recruitment. And then just under that, the development. Peds is out of the team. I mean, what?
All right,
am I being unfair?
Definitely.
Am I being unfair?
That midfield sounded good.
Once you break it down, we want your thoughts on that.
So, and this is the last thing I'll say about it is, clearly looking at that, building a midfield hasn't been a priority. It's the next best pick or it's the next best kid. But Port Adelaide strategically wanted a midfield because, as Campo said, midfield wins flags.
3 minutes to 5. Let's get your thoughts very shortly. 8223 0000 Treaders and the Premier Peter Malinauskas after the 5 o'clock news.
Rowey and Timmy G. on the 5AA Sports Show.
Now what are you looking for in there?
Have you seen the tape measure?
No, what do you need it for?
Found it.
Oh, I know. You're measuring it again. Just leave it alone.
I think it's gotten a bit longer, hun, so I might need to cut a bit off.
Okay, but since you got the new mower from Stanford Mowers, you've been really fixated on the length of the lawn.
Size matters, hun, doesn't it?
Not at all.
Stanford Mowers, for very meticulous mowers. 590 Main North Road, Jeps Cross. stanfordmowers.com.au.
Having access to reliable healthcare services gives us all peace of mind. Too many South Australians living hundreds of kilometres from Adelaide have a local hospital that doesn't have enough nurses or midwives. Frightening? Without state government action, we won't have the nurses and midwives needed to keep our regional hospitals running. Support those who care for us at regionalincentives.com.au. Authorised by EDBARS ANMF SA Branch Ridleyton.
Whether you're kicking goals today or back in your prime, you can rely on Complete Comfort every night. Complete Comfort makes amazing mattresses. They're built with active zones that you can adjust them in seconds to ensure your body gets the right support.
So important your sleep, isn't it? Now, the great news is if you're still into your sports and activities, that's great, and you still have a couple of injuries from the old days, well, don't worry about it. This bed will take care of it. They look like an average bed. I'm telling you, they are far from average.
So this live read has finally got back to Jodie about her snoring.
Uh-oh.
So I'll refrain. Yeah, it was always going to happen.
Yeah. Well, you pushed the button a bit too hard.
I think I might have. But it does help snoring. It does help if you've got a bad hip. It helps everything. And a quality bed can support. You can adjust with a click of a button. It's a massive investment for your well-being.
Imagine amortising it over the 15 years that you have the bed.
But that was the message I was giving Jodie.
Oh, were you?
Help me.
Didn't sound like it.
Jodie, help you.
Sound a bit
with Complete Comfort.
Visit completecomfort.com.au. They're that good, they can even get Rowey out of trouble. Visit their Wavell showroom to experience complete comfort beds for yourself.
Just Quality are your SA family-owned and operated home improvements experts in everything from artificial turf, outdoor blinds, roller shutters, plantation shutters, garage doors, roof restorations and re-roofing. All backed with our market-leading warranties, quality service and finance. So, when you want quality at an affordable price, book your free assessment now and call Just Quality.
Just dial 1300 813 813.
Need a forklift? Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. Toyota is the world's #1 forklift brand with a great range of pallet jacks, walkie stackers and reach forklifts right up to their leading Toyota counterbalance forklifts. Legendary reliability and safety with cleaner, greener electric options. Toyota can tailor the right forklift solution for you. It's all part of the Toyota Forklift Advantage. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Get a Toyota forklift.
There's a lot to love about learning just about anything you want with WEA. Just name it. And remember, it's real-time face-to-face learning, so you'll always get answers to your questions. Find hundreds of courses at wea-sa.com.au.
The very latest news and information. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
A shower or two tonight, down to 11, cloudy tomorrow and 20. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
Experience the 2024 new-gen Mitsubishi Triton with 10 years warranty and servicing. Test drive at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Lindock in the Barossa Valley has been announced as a gather-round venue for next year. In the next 12 months, $40 million will be spent upgrading the local sports ground in a jointly funded redevelopment. It'll see the oval altered to meet AFL standards, along with upgraded club rooms and facilities. John Geber from Chateau Tanunda says it's great news for the whole region.
We're very, very, very happy that it's coming, the gather-round, the energy that it's bringing and the people it's bringing. Spreading the name, the beauty of the Barossa is something quite special, so it's good.
Premier Peter Malinauskas wouldn't confirm whether the Barossa's gain would be Mount Barker's loss.
Someone's going to have to miss out somewhere to be able to accommodate games in the Barossa, but we've got to be willing to be flexible and move around. I wouldn't rule out a game in the Adelaide Hills just yet. I certainly wouldn't rule out a game at the Parade just yet. The only thing we'll be ruling in is a game here. So how we make that balancing act work is something that the AFL and the state government will work through.
A 14-year-old boy fronted the Adelaide Youth Court today over an alleged break-in at Allenby Gardens. 3 businesses were targeted early yesterday morning. Police are looking for 2 other suspects. A major review is recommending massive fines for supermarkets who mistreat suppliers, but the opposition says it'll do little to bring down consumer prices. More from Zack Clough.
Supermarkets who rip off farmers could be fined billions of dollars if the government adopts the interim findings of a review into the sector. The inquiry's recommending the current voluntary code of conduct be made mandatory for grocery giants like Coles and Woolworths. Treasurer Jim Chalmers says it's about getting a better deal for all Australians.
A fair go for farmers and families.
But opposition leader Peter Dutton says the proposal is unlikely to bring prices down.
There's nothing revolutionary in saying that they're going to increase fines.
Mr Dutton believes other penalties should be considered, including potential forced sell-offs if supermarkets break the rules.
The opposition is accusing the Albanese government of playing politics with the death of an aid worker in Gaza. More from Michael Packey.
Australian Zomi Frankham was among 7 charity workers killed in an Israeli drone strike in Gaza last week. Israel says it was an accident. The soldiers involved have been dismissed and commanders disciplined. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says he's not satisfied with Israel's explanation and has appointed former Defence Chief Mark Binskin to examine the issue.
We need full transparency.
Opposition leader Peter Dutton says he respects Mr Binskin but believes he's just been appointed as a political fix to help Mr Albanese placate the left faction of the Labor Party.
He's been given mission impossible.
The UK, US and Canada are also pressuring Israel for clarity on the aid worker deaths.
Qantas has unveiled changes to its long-standing frequent flyer program as it rebuilds loyalty and credibility among consumers. Points on the Classic Plus flight reward program will vary like normal airfares and lower during non-peak periods. It's the biggest change to the scheme in 35 years. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Armani, Canali, Xenia. Find them all at Ignition for Men, Adelaide's home of luxury menswear, 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
Well, the Crows are feeling the pressure to kickstart their season. Adelaide head into this Saturday's Round 5 clash against Carlton without a win. Assistant coach Nathan Van Berlo confident everything will come together soon.
We're as frustrated and disappointed as what our supporters would be as well. But it's how you use that disappointment and frustration to get clarity in and around what it takes for us to get our game to the level we want, and then also understand that we will fight our way out of this, whether that's this weekend or in the coming weeks. We'd like to think so.
Port Adelaide is awaiting the AFL's formal response to Jeremy Finlayson's homophobic slur. He's apologised for what was said during Friday night's match against Essendon. Teammate Mitch Georgiades says it was 100% out of line.
It's obviously not acceptable. Jeremy's very apologetic and remorseful for his actions, but it's something that it's not acceptable in this day and age and in society at all. So it's up to the AFL now, but it's where it is.
Brodie Kostecki will make his supercars return in New Zealand later this month, and Arsenal is now in the box seat in the EPL's title race after Liverpool drew with Man United 2-2 at Old Trafford. Now checking 5AA traffic.
G'day there, Glenelg North, a crash, Anzac Highway near Wiggly Reserve. Munopara, crash there too, Main North Road near Curtis Road. And Goulburn, crash, Goulburn Road near Albert Street. Ridgehaven, Burst Watermain slowing things up, North East Road near Carter Street, speeds at 40. Now look out for cameras this afternoon, McGill Road, McGill and Gage Street at Firle. More beauty for less at Big W. Selected cosmetics are now half price. Includes Maybelline, Revlon, Emco Beauty and more. That's more for less at Big W. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota forklift advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
A shower or two tonight, down to 11, cloudy tomorrow and 20, Wednesday cloudy 21 and Thursday 22. Right now it's 16 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Braglis. Tonight, gather in the Barossa. The SA round breaks new ground for 2025. See the shocking footage. Stacey Lee's home ransacked in a brazen daylight raid. How customers will benefit from game-changing rules to hit the big supermarkets. Millions more seats in a Qantas frequent flyer shake-up. And the weight loss drug now showing benefits for heart disease. 9 News. Your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
7 minutes after 5 on this Monday. Football review still to come from the Crows. Ben Keys from Port Adelaide, Josh Carr. We'll speak to Adelaide United, Zack Clough as well. Big 4-2 win yesterday over Perth. We've got Port Adelaide locker room tickets to give away for Saturday night's game against Freo. And we're loving your calls and your involvement tonight. 8223 0000. You can chat with Warren Tredrea, who's here with us now.
Certainly can, and thank you very much for coming in, Warren Tredrea.
Get off my phone, shouldn't I?
You've just experienced Gather Round.
Oh, did I experience it?
How much did you like it?
I feel like I've had a football hangover.
Yeah,
I didn't drink,
enormous.
but if you drink responsibly, but some days you might not quite be as responsible as you need to. I feel like 2 days later, so I'm a bit rusty today. I'm slow thinking. I'm football.
All right, we'll just sit there for a minute then. We'll get somebody on who really loves Gather Round. We've got the Premier on the line, Premier Malinauskas. Thank you very much for joining us.
G'day, gents. And I've got to say, I can accord with Treaders. Even I'm almost had a bit enough footy.
How many games, Premier? I had 5.
I went to 7 of the 9.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Showed me up. My son will be filthy. I didn't take him to 2. I could have.
That's outstanding.
But I didn't. To be fair, I like at most of the games, I'm not actually watching that much footy. It was only really the Port game I watched most of it, but the rest there's a lot of sponsors and industry stakeholders and broadcasters and a whole bunch of other people that I was sort of mainly working around. But I saw the last quarter of the Carlton game, and that was pretty special.
Yeah, it was a massive week, and well done to everybody involved. Firstly, you're in the cheer squad for the Never Tear Us Apart bit.
Yeah, I went down because there was a gentleman from the cheer squad that I've met before, and he was down with Sunrise early on, and the Today Show early on Friday morning must have been. And he said, "Oh, you got to come down for the beginning and take you out to the cheer squad." So I promised him I'd come down, and so I was keen to honour that promise. So it was really good fun being with the cheer squad for Never Tear Us Apart. It's a unique part of the pre-game celebrations for Port, so I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And thank everybody that it actually went ahead, because I think that's why people come to experience that at Adelaide Oval when they play Port. So when you wrap everything up in summary, have you had one of those PowerPoint graphics point together yet? Where it says, X amount of people did this and we were up, X amount of % on this. Has that been put together yet?
Yeah, there has been a whole suite of stats that the team have presented to me around lunchtime, which are really good, but there'll be a more formal economic analysis that's conducted over the course of the next few weeks, and we'll release that report once we receive it. But the numbers that we've got up until this point are, to be honest, they're exceptional. I mean, this time last year, one of the industries that measures things pretty quickly is the hotel industry, that is the accommodation sector. They know exactly what their revenue per available room is, and that's what's called RevPAR, and that data is uploaded. And this time last year, we were celebrating the fact that Gather Round had been the best weekend in the history of the state in terms of that metric. And this year, we outperformed that by about 15%. Which is pretty. That's significant growth. That's worth a lot of money to our economy. So, but look, in every other metric, whether it be TV ratings, what we're hearing from the hospitality sector, that is, bars and restaurants, everything is up on what was a record last year. So, but I think the key driver of that undoubtedly is a lot more people were here from interstate this time. So 32% ticket sales interstate Gather Round last year. This year, just under 40%. That's on 9 sellouts. So that's a lot of extra people here driving. A lot of people drove across the border this year. A lot more Airbnbs came online as well. That was a new element. I met someone the other day who explained they put their house. They moved out of their home for the weekend, and they paid off. I think they said it was 6 weeks worth of their mortgage out of what they got on Airbnb across the weekend, which is extraordinary. So there's anecdotal reports, but also a lot of official stats saying that things went well for the state.
Now, Premier, obviously the deal with the AFL's in confidence. I assume you don't want to reveal how much you do pay, but can you give us our listeners a ballpark? Do we make double what we spend in revenue? Is it 5 times, 10 times? Some sort of figure, just so we sort of understand to say, hey, for example, if we spent 10 million, we're making 100 or 50 million or something like that.
It's a really good question. treaders, and it's a fair one. The only reason why I would be more than happy to put this out on the public record, I've got to say, because I think if South Australians heard the number, they would be like, okay, yep, that works. The problem that I've got is the second we don't even have that choice because it's written into the contract with the AFL that we can't. But even if we did, then every other state is going to know what they're up against. And so we want to be able to have a degree of commercial and confidence arrangements to preserve our negotiating position with the AFL. What I can say is
you can just tell us how well it washes its own back, that's all.
It absolutely washes its own face. In fact, when we compare it to what we now know the sort of ballpark numbers are for something like the Grand Prix in Melbourne, it's chalk and cheese, let alone what we're seeing with the Olympics, which is a once-off event. So the good thing about this is, we've announced today the investment in the Barossa, which is pretty modest, and there'll be lasting infrastructure use beyond the event. But we can have gather round, and we basically just turn Adelaide Oval on. It's not as though we have to spend hundreds and hundreds of millions in infrastructure to make it happen. So that's one of the key economic advantages that makes our investment modest in the context of the return.
Premier, how do we then, as a state, guard against, and I'll call them inverted commas, lunch cutters,
poachers,
and get our long-term deal similar to what the AFL's done with the grand final at the MCG till 2059? Because this is ours.
Yeah.
We put them on the line. We've nailed it year on year. Give us some level of comfort that we've got this.
Yeah, they're not going to
it's a good
have one in every state, as they suggested.
We're not dealing with Bernie Ecclestone again, are we?
Well, I got asked about this in a press conference with Andrew Dillon standing next to me today about the concept of having one in every state. And I said, look, we're not up for that, and we would be affronted by it because it would diminish the premium of the event that we invested in, that we went hard on, and we've made work for the AFL. And so that is something that we won't tolerate that as a proposition. When we negotiate with the AFL, we're doing it on the basis of exclusivity, which we've got for the next another 2 years, of course. So, but I did speak to Andrew Dillon over the weekend. I said, look, if we earn the right for a long-term deal by doing the event and doing it well for another 2 years, we would be wanting a longer-term arrangement. And the reason why that's in the interest of the AFL, as well as the state, is that if we've got a longer-term arrangement, we can plan and coordinate even better again. The announcement that we made today at the Barossa, we're only doing that because we know we can do it. We're going to have games up there for another 2 years. In the absence of that, we probably wouldn't be making that decision. So long-term arrangements can benefit us both, provided the partnership is real. The final other thing I'd say is on this, but I also want to make sure the AFL is on the hook too. Like there are little things that matter, like, well, actually, it's quite a big thing. The fixture is important. We want to make sure that we've got a seat at the table about the fixture so that it maximises the return to the state economically. And having it in the middle of the Victorian school holidays this weekend was really important to allow people to drive over, which is something that we're grateful for.
Yeah, it was outstanding. Before we let you go, and thank you for your time, I know you're sitting today, what else are you cracking into? When are we getting the Socceroos?
Rowey, every time I come on the program, which I always enjoy, there's always the next event, isn't it? Always
Well, let's keep looking forward.
Well, if that's too far forward for the Premier, Live in a couple of weeks, we could do a nice little junket at Live. Would keep us happy.
All right.
Now, look, Rowey, the Socceroos haven't played in Adelaide for too long. Correct. And we were rapt to get the deal with Matildas, and that's a big one. I mean, we saw that sell out an hour or something crazy. So look, but the Socceroos is on our list, but it all has to be done within a budget that we've got for major events. So that's what rest assured, I think your question's a fair one. But the argument we make to Football Australia is less about the money. What we say to Football Australia is if you aspire to be a national team, you've got to play in Adelaide because you can't ignore us anymore.
Correct.
You should be here, in the absence of a commercial deal. You've got an obligation to pay, to turn up in front of your fans, particularly those that consistently turn up for major events, and that's true here in Adelaide more than anywhere on a per capita basis. So that's the argument that we seek to prosecute, and hopefully we'll have something from the Socceroos in the not too distant future.
Premier, thank you very much for everything you've done so far. Thank you for being part of the show. I feel like you've worked really well with the AFL, even to the point where you threw the handball game yesterday morning against Andrew Dillon. I really like that. I saw you miss two deliberately, so well done.
I'm glad you picked up on that, Timmy. That's good.
That's not what he said off air, Premier.
No, I'm going to help him with his left-handed handballs.
Well, it was smart. They could have been kicking.
Look, can I just say one thing, gents, before I leave you? I hope you don't mind me doing so. Is that there are so many people, like an extraordinary number of people who have made this work from behind the scenes. I was so filled with pride and gratitude on the weekend. I chatted to someone who was just operating, when I say just operating the car park at Adelaide Oval underneath. And I said to him, thanks for working so much over the weekend and so forth. And this gentleman explained to me that he would almost do it for free. He said, I thoroughly enjoy the opportunity to stand up and make my contribution to do something good for the state. And that attitude existed everywhere for everyone from the Nordfin and Wine Festival store holders, people at Adelaide Oval, people in bars and restaurants. They want to put on to the rest of the country what we have to offer in our hospitality. And I think the whole team made it work. And there are a lot of good people who flogged themselves over this weekend, and they deserve high praise in my view.
Well said.
Brilliant, mate. Well done again. Thank you very much for being a part of the Sports Show.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, Ta.
That's the Premier, Peter Malinauskas, just giving
that
real
so
wrap up of the gathering round.
So I was at Nord Oval, and those same volunteers, they're not getting paid, man those gates, man the stand. Have you got your ticket, haven't you? They get around. They man the booth, the drinking booth, the same staff. It's just... So if that's duplicated out to Mount Barker and it's duplicated... It's just...
I saw him working at the Bay.
And I know we've got to get to a break real quick, but I reckon the fans played their part too. We didn't have any yobbos jump the fence, did we? We didn't have any yobbos. Because maybe, is it me or... I went to a lot of games. There was an abundance of kids everywhere.
Yep.
So I think...
Families.
The level of decorum and smarts with families and behaviour.
They were football people.
And I think, and I'm a South Australian at heart, but the people from Victoria, it added a mix to Adelaide Oval I haven't experienced.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, like, you go to the MCG, you sit Collingwood versus Essendon, you can sit next to a Carlton fan. Yeah. We had that for the first time ever. The only time we get close to that is a showdown, and that's still 70% majority one crowd. I thought the opening the gates to everyone, we experience footy for what it is, grassroots, all sides of fans in one room.
Well said, Treaders. We're going to take a break. You can get your calls in next, 8223 0000. Let's check your roads first.
Your collisions with the wet weather. Look out for those on the drive home. You find one at Glenorg North, Anzac Highway and Wigley Reserve. Another one at Munopara Main North Road near Curtis Road. And a burst water main slowing things up at Ridgehaven, North East Road near Carter Street. Got speeds at 40 at the moment. You find cameras on the drive home, Glenburn Road, Burnside and Grand Boulevard at Seaford Rise. You know her music, now discover her story. Marisa Abella stars as Amy Winehouse in Back to Black. Experience the life behind the lyrics, only in cinemas, April 11. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
There's mega deals on this week at your local IGA. Like Peter's Drumstick, 4 to 6 pack selected varieties, $4.75 each, half price. Specials across the store right now, only at IGA. Offer ends April 9. Participating stores only. Excludes Foodland.
G'day everyone, Cornsey here. Now I know a great team when I see one, and the South Australian hydraulic team I rate the highest is BL Shipway. The Shipway team are the best in the business. They've been looking after your hydraulic and pneumatic needs since 1953 with brands like Ryco, Rexroth, Enerpac, Hydac, Oilpath, EasyFit and many more. If you can't get to them, they'll send a Ryco 24/7 van to you anytime, anywhere. blshipway.com.au, a South Australian team you can count on.
Now, the biggest threat to your business isn't your competition. Well, who is it? It's cybercrime. Cybercrime threats impacting Australian businesses, large and small, continue to grow year on year. Got to get on top of this, Rowey.
Well, you do. One call to one solution will put the business in a safe place and save you from the devastating consequences of cybercrime. Till you've been hacked, you don't know what you've had. I mean, honestly, it's the smartest, most cost-effective business decision I think you'll make.
Yeah, good point. One Solution is local as well. So a full-service technology company right here in Adelaide, offering a diverse range of solutions across IT, telecommunications, phone and mobile systems, cybersecurity and AI implementation. Get onto it.
Well, today more than ever, so it's important to safeguard your business. Do it properly. Do it with One Solution. Visit onesolution.com.net.au. It is a platinum Telstra partner.
Hi, it's Sean from Automasters. This outside brake pad is the one we're concerned about.
Now you can see what we see.
If I come down here, this is your front shock absorber.
Autocam.
So I'd like to flush that system out for you too.
Real-time video sent direct to you from your Automasters technician.
He wants to run a little engine flush through to help get out that old oil that's in there.
See any issue firsthand. How good? Real-time reporting with instant SMS approval. Call 1300 Automasters. Great service guaranteed.
The cost of living keeps rising. Thankfully, so does the sun. That's why more Aussies are getting smart with SolarHeart. Go solar today and get up to $1,000 off a SolarHeart solar power system and battery package. That's right, get up to $1,000 off when you purchase a 5 kilowatt and above SolarHeart solar power system and an eligible Goodwee battery. Lower your energy bills with every sunrise. Get smart. Get SolarHeart. Terms and conditions apply.
Live Golf Adelaide is back, and tickets are selling fast. It's golf, but louder. Don't miss this epic weekend, packed with live music, party vibes, and world-class golfers like Rahm, Smith, and Koepka. Live Golf Adelaide, April 26 to 28. Get your tickets now at livegolf.com.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
It is 24 minutes after 5. Treaders is in the building. You can watch on the Foodland live stream on Facebook and YouTube. 8223 0000. Lines are open. Give you a chance to chat to Treaders.
That's for sure. Treaders, the weekend's game, of course, marred with the report on Jeremy Finlayson. How do you expect that one to play out?
Well, it's in the hands of the AFL now. The positive is, and obviously I was privy to this information when it happened pretty soon after being on the board, and I actually congratulated a lot of the people behind the scenes how they've handled it. It's not an ideal situation. No one condones behaviour like this, whether it's racial or homophobic or anyone you're offending any group. But for me, the reality of the situation is the player owned it. It was made, I think, in the third quarter. Apologised to the other player post-game, reported it to the club at three-quarter time. So apart from making the mistake, he's done everything within his rights to do the right thing. So it's not like he made out it didn't happen or anything. He owned it. He knew he stuffed up. And there'll be counselling. There'll be all those bits, and now you sit and wait for the AFL to make their ruling on it.
So is it the integrity unit that takes it from
I
here?
think so, yeah.
Correct.
I believe so, yeah.
Tanya Hosh, who wrote the policy.
Yeah.
So what are you expecting?
Don't know. I don't know. Well, I think David has spoken and said how there's a precedent, but, and I get no one wants this to happen, but I do honestly believe there are potential differences in what's happened. Where it's various incidents recently, like Alistair Clarkson's one, I don't think he even got suspended, which I'm privy to some information on that, which I was surprised at. Yeah. The Taylor Walker one 6 weeks. But all the information around all these bits and pieces are very, very delicate and very different. But the reality is that you've got to put trust in the people who make this call. And for me, as a Port person, a Port former player and now an official, Jeremy made a mistake. He's owned his mistake. Now we sit and wait.
Yeah. Hello, Con.
Hi, how you going, guys? I'm a bit perplexed because I don't know what you think, Rowey, but I think Taylor Walker was 6 weeks for what he did and what he said is grossly excessive. Grossly excessive. When you think that we can have a melee on a football pitch, people can get punched in the head, jumper punched, and cop a $5,000 fine, and yet someone says something, and in this day and age, we cop a $6 6-match suspension. I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. I think the system was new, which is why probably the 6 matches was given in this particular case to Taylor Walker. You had a new system, a new process. And I remember back in 2005, Byron Pickett, he fronted the MRO for the first time. It got fully directed to the panel, and they gave him 6 weeks for that bump on Begley. I don't know if you guys recall it.
Yeah, I do remember.
But I thought that was excessive because we haven't seen anything like it.
No, but
really,
that was
for what he did.
That was the starting of the ruling out of all that. But the Taylor Walker one was interesting for mine because he wasn't officially part of the game.
But it was grossly inadequate. My club didn't challenge it, and I
went
really hard at that.
That's their but also too when a club captain. I know, Rowey. I don't necessarily. I'm not saying I agree with it, but the fact is, the difference between a Finlayson and Clarkson one are very different from my information I have, right? And that's as much as I'll say. The Taylor Walker one is different again, but the Taylor Walker one, he wasn't official on the day. He entered the playing arena.
Well,
so maybe that's
led
why.
The charge.
I don't know, but maybe that's why he was tried differently. But I did feel 6 weeks was big.
And we did say that. And I'm not saying for 1 second Finlayson should get that.
No.
It is a fine and education. You don't miss games of football. You just can't.
Because in the heat of the moment, people are going to make mistakes.
But whether it's a homophobic slur or a racial slur, they should be same. We do all agree about that around the table, don't we?
I think there'll be weeks given.
They're
I'm not sure how many, but I think there'll be weeks given.
Hello, Dennis.
Yeah, good day, Warren, Tim, how you going?
Hey, Dennis.
Good, Dennis.
I just want to, I know we're just only 4 weeks in, but each week I think they're starting to gel together.
Agree.
That defence is playing. They're playing a lot better. Like David King, that's always critical that their defence gets drawn up the ground. But I think that like last week, the defenders was really good. And the Georgiadis move between half forward and half back, I think that's going to be a winner too.
Well, it looked good, didn't it? Because he's a link man we've probably struggled with. And I've always been someone that if you're a key forward and it's not coming, you to go and get it. But if that is going to be the move, at times I think we might be a bit too tall. But I'm not the one sitting in match selection. I'm not the one working at the matchups, Timmy. And yeah, I do agree with that. David King's entitled to say that because let's face it, as a defence, Port Adelaide, we leaked goals last year. We needed to be better. I thought Radigalia played his best game for the club.
He did.
I think he and Alir and Zerk Thatcher have really got something special going. And judgment will be that as the season goes on and towards the key area. But the positive is we needed some ruck support. We've got that. Right, we then need to go the draft. We've done that, and we needed to then shore up the back half, and I think we've done that. So really good performance from Port. Going into the game, I was nervous, and then after the game, I go on, are Essendon that good? So you're always worrying where things sit. To be 3-1, Port played unbelievably well. And is it possible, as good as Connor Rowey was? Here's a question for you, and I don't even know the answer for it. Was Jason Horne-Francis' last 3 quarters at a higher level than Connor Rowey's game?
Well, what a problem to have.
Oh, no, but that's the point. I've asked 4 people this same thing and got 4 different answers.
Yeah. I don't have one of them. Oh, and then there's another bloke called Butters. Oh, sorry about that. And then there's Ollie Wines. What did he do? He went a Brownlow. And there's a bloke that no one talks about, Drew.
Yeah, I love him.
We talk about him.
I'm 0 from 5.
Yeah, we do.
Are you all right?
I'm sitting here with you-know-what in my hand.
No,
water.
Treaders, thanks for coming in.
Glass of water.
I didn't know where he was going, Tim. You
it.
cleaned him up so well then. Look at you go.
Absolutely. I know when to jump in.
There's no water in that glass.
Thanks for coming. You come back Friday, won't you?
If I have to.
Well done, Treaders. We love your work.
Ignition for men.
5:30. And if you'd like a double pass to the Adelaide Thunderbirds, they are opening their Super Netball season against the Queensland Firebirds this Saturday at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. We have a double pass for you, 8223 0055. We'll give that away next. Very shortly, Ben Keys from the Crows.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the latest news headlines. The economic impact from this year's Gather Round has surpassed all expectations as stakeholders tally up their weekend. Qantas Frequent Flyers is getting a major overhaul. Australia's biggest supermarkets could be slapped with billions of dollars in fines if they fail to comply with new code of conduct requirements. And in sport, the first foal of legendary mare Winx has sold for a staggering $10 million at auction in Sydney. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon, look out for a crash today at Heathpool causing a few delays. Port Rice Road near Stafford Grove. Another collision at Munopara, Main North Road near Curtis Road. And a car will overtake Vista, Lower North East Road near Perseverance Road. Where's Watermatter Ridgehaven also to look out for. North East Road near Carter Street. Got speeds at 40 there at the moment. And we've got Kenilworth Green Hill Road, Burnside and Grand Boulevard at Seaford Rise. The Snooze Autumn Sale is on now. Save up to 50% off mattresses and up to 40% off bed frames. Hurry, sale ends soon. It's amazing what Snooze can do. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, a shower or two tonight down to 11, cloudy tomorrow and 20. Right now it's 16 degrees. We'll have more news at 6 and as it happens on 5AA.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
The Mayor of the City of Norwood, Payneham St Peters, Robert Bree, has called in. Mayor, you must be obviously delighted with what transpired in your neck of the woods over the weekend. The Food and Wine Festival especially, did it exceed all your expectations?
It did, but I certainly wasn't surprised by the numbers. It was just a fantastic and pretty surreal last 3 days at Norwood, actually.
Adelaide's leading breakfast show.
As far as the parade was concerned, it was absolutely amazing.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Since I got these new shoes from Gilmore's, I can do even more dance moves. Here, hold my phone.
Oh, Grandma, do we have to do this here?
Oh, don't be silly. The light is great. I've got more than 80 followers, you know. You're out with an influencer.
My grandma, the influencer. Just wow.
Well, you can thank Gilmore's for that. My followers love seeing the new shoes I've bought.
I know. I've read some of the comments. Actually pretty good.
I told you I'm trending.
Gilmore's Comfort Shoes, South Road, Melrose Park, opposite Castle Plaza.
You know, there's a really simple way to be sure the ham you're buying is made from Australian pork. You just look for a pink box on your packs. That way, you'll know the pork comes fresh from our farms.
And not shipped in from overseas!
Yep. A pink box on your pack also means the ham has passed Australia's strict quality controls. So your ham will taste great. So for true Australian quality, just pick a pack with a pink pork logo. Thanks a lot.
Now, if you ping a car window, bus or truck, if it's cracked, scratched or chipped, don't clown around, I'm saying. Now, call Complete Windscreens.
On 8269 4444.
Now, we're nearly 50 years old. It's a family-owned SA company, the Dean Brothers. They're just superb. We've kept motorists, well, with the best service, price and quality. As I said, front windscreens, back door, whether it's chipped, cracked, we can repair it. We do tints, calibrations.
Don't take a risk either. You got a little crack or something. Don't take a risk.
$99. Boom.
Get in.
Good call. Great advice. Hey, Tim, solid advice that, you
Thank
big
you.
red koala. So tell your insurance company you want complete windscreens on the job. And remember, you don't have to use your insurance company's windscreen repairer. You can choose complete
Your choice.
windscreens. Newly appointed RAA approved repairer. The
Well
RAA
done.
team were out the
Tick.
other day. Tick.
You'll
I mean, that's a big tick.
That's massive.
That says quality.
RAA, trust is a must. There you go.
Timmy, you big red
Oh.
koala head. You know what? I might get you down there in a koala suit and get you on our container.
Yeah.
Just do a little.
Oh, I could do a jig.
You
yeah,
could
yeah,
too.
Yeah. I reckon it'd be worthwhile.
Bring them in.
Be
Hey?
good for business.
Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
What good is learning if you're not sharing or discussing it with the person next to you? It's why so many people love learning with WEA. Face-to-face learning in a friendly, like-minded group. For learning you'll love, visit wea-sa.com.au.
Introducing the all-electric 7-seat Kia EV9. Silence never felt so loud. Visit kia.com.au to find out more.
Kia, movement that inspires. With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
24 minutes to 6. Zack Clough coming up shortly. Josh Carr from Port Adelaide, and your chance to win your way to our 5AA locker room this Saturday night against FIVEAA, all before 6 o'clock.
Well, Crows are 0-4. We know that they have had their moments, but for some reason their attack or ball movement escapes them for now, or if you call it dried up. Well, joining us is one of their leaders, Ben Keys. Keysy, welcome.
Hey, fellas, thanks for having me on.
Oh, good man. You sound up and about, and that's great because it is still 19 games left. I heard text say that. How frustrating has this start of the season been?
Yeah, really frustrating, of course. You know, you want to get off to a good start and win some games, and we haven't been able to do that. But yeah, not panic stations. You know, we have to try and, address what we need to, but also, yeah, stay upbeat and optimistic because, as you said, or as Tex said, there's a long way in the season to go.
Why has our scoring dried up?
Oh, I think a number of different reasons. I think we didn't play our system as well as we would have liked to start this season. We're trying to address that at the moment. And then, yeah, just some of our ball movement and options that we're taking, we're addressing those things as well. So there's little bits and pieces that we've had a look at over the 4 weeks. So hopefully we know what we're doing wrong and we can improve on it.
My answer on the back of that then is the why. I mean, have you been training this shape of this ball movement all summer? Have you been focusing on something else and denied this? Why? I mean, it's round 4, Keezy.
Honestly, I think, we do train it obviously the whole summer. But I think teams are a bit more wary of us this year. I think, last year we're obviously a pretty high scoring team and that was one of our weapons. I think teams are scouting us really well and are throwing a few different things at us. Things that we didn't, get thrown at us during the pre-season when we're obviously playing against ourselves. So there's little things like that come into play. But yeah, I just think as a whole group, we just need to execute better. We've looked at many opportunities across the first 4 weeks there where we could have scored and we didn't. So we've looked at those, and some of it's fundamental, some of it's not taking the right option within the system, and then some of it was also not playing the system and not adhering to our role. So we're looking at all those things.
Okay. And what about you, Keezy? You're normally a prolific ball winner. You're playing a similar role to what you did probably toward the latter half of last year. Are you the best version of you for the team? Are you playing the best role for the team right now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've trained forward, all summer. Played most of it, last year, and really started to enjoy it towards the tail end of last year. So yeah, it's definitely there. Obviously, it's tough when we're trying to score a bit more, and we're not doing it at the moment. But that's just what happens with that role. You ride the highs and lows, and you just stick strong to your role and stick to your guns. So yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I love playing up there with those guys, and hopefully can play a really important role going forward.
Did you feel things turned a little bit on Thursday night? It just seemed like at the end that confidence seemed to be coming back in the ball movement.
Yes, it did. I think it did turn a bit. So, yeah, as I said, we're addressing things as we go, and I definitely think it started to turn. It would have been nicer to, stop a few of their late goals in quarters. That probably is what hurt us in the end. But it's definitely turning, and Melbourne are absolutely awesome side this year. They've been good for the last few years. So we've got to remember, we played a really good opposition. They played us really well. They had some good plans in place. But, yeah, we definitely stuck with them for a while. And, I think, as you said, stuff definitely started turning a little bit.
Gee, I love it when Jake Saligo goes through. It gives you some real bite, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's awesome. He had a really good pre-season, so we knew that he'd come and do that. And then he had a little injury towards the end. I think now we're seeing that's what he's been doing all pre-season. So no surprises for us.
Expectation didn't get us, did it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. As I said, I think all teams are trying to improve and get better, and they have done. And teams looking at us and are playing us really well, and throwing different things at us that we've got to deal with. And there's a whole number of factors. But yeah, as you said, we're not far off. I know sometimes people don't like to hear that, but it did turn on the weekend, and I'm really confident in what we're doing and where we're going to go.
Well, Carlton and Etihad will be calling it. It's the last stand at the OK Corral. It's White Earp style at Tombstone. You know that movie, Keezy?
I don't know that movie, sorry.
Well, I want you to watch it because it's a great movie about being under the odds, no chance of winning this shootout.
Yeah, you can get a blockbuster, mate. You've been the blockbuster.
Watch it, Keezy.
Maybe Video Easy.
I reckon Keezy could play White Earp. Greatest movie ever. All right, anyway, we're mucking around, Keezy. All the best Saturday in Melbourne. I think your best for long enough will be good enough. There's no doubt about that. We need the 4 points. Good luck.
Absolutely. No worries, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Well done, Ben Keys. I think that went over his head. It's an old movie, that one, Tombstone.
No, well.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
White Earp?
Of course I have.
Yeah. OK Corral.
I'm old, you remember?
Shootout.
Yeah, exactly.
Doc.
Yeah.
He had diabetes or something. What was wrong with him? He was an alcoholic, wasn't he? But God, he could shoot a gun.
The whiskey got him.
The greatest movie. Anyway, we digress. Hello, John at West Croydon.
How you going, fellas?
Good, mate.
4-0. I think it's based on stats. It's an absolute the longest shot you can have at the Crows making the finals this year, and I think the nail will be in the coffin at the this weekend. But I was ringing more so. Actually, what I wanted to say, I was listening to Peter Malinauskas interview. Great job from our Premier, number one in terms of the gather round, getting that, and also the V8 supercars, getting that back to the state as well. So he's done a great job. So good on him, and good on everyone else that helped out as well. But I was ringing more so about you touched on Mark Rashido and his comments about gushing over the Port midfield. Interesting, isn't it? Because I'm assuming this is the same director that told the Crows supporters or members or whatever you want to call them that if they didn't like what the club was doing, that they should go and follow another team. It just smells of the mindset of people running this club. I don't like listening to that type of stuff. And as you mentioned, where's the accountability in terms of what they've done? Because if I can remember correctly, the year Port got Connor Rowey, we started off with a better draft hand and got left behind because the team that was trading, from Port's perspective, wanted a prize, and they went out and got it, and we sat on our big fat hands and did what?
Well, the thing about list management, it's not exactly what we see week in, week out. They say you need two of everything, but it's dealing with other clubs. It's being able to get a deal done. It's being able to have respect with other clubs and the player managers. It's being able to attract a manager to know that we're a club of destination and sell that picture and that story. It's about putting numbers together and a deal together that's clever. It's about building a list from the bottom up, not from the top down, not letting a little cherry picker come out off a tree like Dawson or Rankin. They're always coming home. It's just the difference between Crows or Port. I don't want to hear all that. This is about a collective decisions over a greater period of time where we're left where we are right here, right now, and it's not good. And it's come to bear. And it was fool's gold last year. There's no question about it. There's been too many mistakes. And when Roo said that, I mean, I'm watching, I'm going, I'm envious. But I shouldn't be envious. What am I doing? What's my club doing?
Thanks for your call, John. We'll go to Dave at Highgate. G'day, David.
Yeah, g'day, boys. A little bit fired up. In terms of, number one, the comments from mainly Victorians about the Crows and Power getting advantaged by having an extra home game. Well, get your violins out, boys, because, like some of the Victorian teams, they play 15, 16 games in Melbourne, and a lot of them play most of them, just about all of them at the MCG. Someone like Geelong should be, they should be spewing about their situation when it gets to finals, because they get to a crucial final, and they can't even play a prelim final at Geelong. They have to go to the MCG. Secondly, and I'll just keep rattling these off.
Go for it.
The Crows. I'm a Crow supporter. Will be till the day I die, and I will be fiercely loyal to them. But you've got to be honest. Sometimes it's about recruitment, development, retention. And I'm really sorry, but at the moment, I think I go with Rowey and whoever else has said it. It has got to be fail, fail, fail. It pains me to say it, but I had huge expectations this year in terms of what we could possibly achieve. Anyway, I'll keep the rattling gun going, and I'll say, well, hey, the Crows, Adelaide Football Club, are the punching bag of the AFL, and I refer back to Taylor Walker, who made a comment not to the player, to someone else. I believe in a third quarter huddle or something, and he got 6 weeks and $20,000, I believe. Alistair Clarkson goes straight up to someone and gets a suspended sentence and a lesser fine. And, I reckon that Finlayson's probably a lovely, lovely guy. He's made a mistake. I'm not gunning for him, but what I'm gunning for is some sort of fairness in terms of the way the Crows get dealt and every other club gets dealt. That's all I'm asking for.
Nah, well said, Dave. Great call. Unique home style food.
He handled
text.
that well because he
did.
was up and about.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't falter. Well done.
Dave from Parafield Gardens. Great text, this one. This is a great text. Hi, guys. S-Row. Gee, you're funny. Just heard you interview Keys from Adelaide Crows. Not once did I hear you tell him he was a scrubber with no skills, can't kick, not really at him, or why is he in the side, what's his attributes. Last 2 years, all you've done is bag living gizzards at him. If I was Keys, I would decline an interview by yourself. Kind regards, Dave from Parafield Gardens. Well, it's not an interview to bag a bloke with that. I've spoken to Keysy a number of times, well away from here, Dave, and he knows exactly where I sit with him. And he agrees, and he's getting better. And when he does get better, I have... Sam, you call with me.
Mm-hmm.
He had a couple of magnificent moments. You call it as it is.
Credit where it's due.
Credit where it's due, Dave. But, God, that's a good text.
Paul, g'day. Paul, how are you, mate?
G'day, gentlemen. First, I have to totally agree with the previous caller, Dave. Dave hit a lot of nails right in the head, didn't he? He's, made a lot of sense.
Yep.
So just me, I'm a sort of Crow supporter, glass half full type of person. And after round 3, I thought, well, we're in 15th spot. We've got Hawthorn, West Coast, and North below us. We can't go down anymore, can we? You know, and well, the last weekend came and we lost another game, but we didn't drop a spot. But looking forward, I started looking at my footy tips for the next week, and I realised that West Coast are playing Richmond over in the West, and I see that as a real danger game for the Crows because maybe we can go one spot lower. If West Coast win, the Crows will drop below, potentially, if they lose, drop below West Coast. And yeah,
it's a big year, Paul. It's a big year. I think Tech said it right. There's 19 games to go. Crows have got Carlton. That is all they're worrying about. And it's about the how. And Campo's really taught me this, if you like. Don't worry about win-loss. Worry about the how. How are they going about it? Are they getting their game back? Are they getting, inverted commas, Timmy, their shape? Are they moving it better? Are they getting it through the corridor? Are they getting better looks inside 50? Are they getting more marks? Worry about all those things and the wins will come. They're just not getting those things right. And all the key stats that they were flying last year are down by half or 30%. Get that right, the wins will come.
11 minutes to 6. Keep your calls coming in. We're loving your interaction. 8223 0000. Josh Carr very shortly. First your roads.
G'day there at Heathpool. Look out for crash. Port Race Road near Stafford Grove. Got some really solid delays also affecting Greenhill Road on the drive home too. First automated Ridgehaven, North East Road near Carter Street. Speeds at 40. And slow on the Southern Expressway to Halloran Hill just near Majors Road for those upgrading works. Speeds at 80. Cameras McGill Road, McGill and Main Road at Wollonga. Don't wait. See the range of new and demonstrator BMWs in stock at Glenelg BMW today. Experience excellence at Glenelg BMW. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Thinking about a solar battery? Don't wait. Connect with NRG Solar and bring home a solar battery with a rock-solid 10-year warranty. Use the energy you generate during the day. Store some for later, reducing reliance on energy providers and putting money back in your pocket. See NRG Solar in their new premises at St Mary's. Bigger place, better space, some amazing people. Visit NRG Solar now at 1275 South Road or call 1300 858 160.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years we, the Lynn Andrews team, have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easier for investors and tenants. Everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It's the way we do business. It's the Lynn Andrews way. For residential and commercial property management, we're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Canada and Alaska. It's a hot topic at the moment, and APT and Phil Hoffman Travel are currently offering savings, listen to this, for up to $3,200 per couple on selected Canada and Alaska tours in 2025. Get in early, get it done.
Does anyone do it better than this, Mob?
No.
I mean, honestly,
They're the
this
best.
fabulous offer includes a 22-day land, rail and cruise journey from Victoria to Vancouver. You'll experience spectacular natural wonders, buzzing cities, iconic train journeys, Premier Ocean cruising with everything taken care of along the way. That is my dream holiday.
Well, the great Russell Ebert did this before he passed, and I remember him showing me photos and said, Timmy, it was the most amazing trip. So
good.
get on board. That's right. This tour includes a 7-night Holland American Line cruise and gold leaf service on the Rocky Mountaineer.
Wow.
Now, to learn more, join Phil Hoffman Travel and APT at their exclusive Canada and Alaska 2025 season launch. The events are held right across Adelaide on now until the 22nd of April. Don't miss it.
Don't miss it, and don't dilly-dally.
No.
Is that the word?
Yeah, that's
Dilly-dally?
correct.
Don't dilly-dally.
It's 2 words, in fact.
Register your attendance or find out more at pht.com.au.
Pathology is an essential part of our healthcare system, and 70% of all our medical decisions rely on pathology tests. They help GPs and other healthcare professionals diagnose illnesses, diseases and infections, and we all benefit from pathology being bulk billed. But government funding hasn't increased in 24 years, so to keep pathology affordable and accessible for all Australians, visit keeppathologybulkbilled.com.au. Authorised by LWET, Australian Pathology Canberra.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
7 minutes to 6. Zack Clough coming up shortly from Adelaide United. Josh Carr in a moment as well from Port Adelaide. But we're doing this.
'Cause I'm Timmy G.
We want to send you to the 5AA locker room this Saturday night. Port and Freo. 82230055 will give you the chance to win in just a second.
Caught a photo of the last winners. Looks like they may have overcated. They had had a terrific time, so it went well. Hey, Port Adelaide had a stirring victory over Essendon on Friday night in Gather Round. It was, quite an amazing performance. We've got their midfield coach on the line, Josh Carr. Mate, that was a lovely little surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, it was obviously nice to get that win, especially off the back of the previous week. A loss at home and being disappointed to come out and respond and get a good win against what we deem as a good side in Essendon.
Yeah, mate, I thought the midfield was incredibly electric. It's probably the best performance I've seen in a long time. I think with Soldo now in there, you guys just have this really nice system working. And was it, is it the best since you've got back to Port Adelaide, you reckon, that you've seen?
Oh, look, I can't, I guess, think about the last time we had a game like that. That was nice to have the first use from Ivan. I think he's been really good and really positive since he's come into our football club. And then I guess Jace and Connor and Drewy and these guys to be able to get after the footy and really, I guess, a real team effort in and around the contest. Obviously, those two led the way with getting after that first possession.
The thing about the big fella too, he doesn't mind going forward and then even selling a bit of candy with the footy, but he loves hitting the scoreboard as well, which is great from a ruck forward.
Yeah, it is, and he's obviously spent a fair bit of time playing as a forward when he was at Richmond and in the double ruck role and playing as a key forward. So he has got that craft, and I'm not sure whether he had the craft of selling a bit of candy and dodging a couple and kicking a goal, but he did it, and he's got great energy around our group. So as I said, it's nice to have him as a part of our team.
Yeah, the interesting thing is he sort of moved the football, but he didn't move the body. So it was actually probably his opponent that gave him that little bit of room. And mate, Mitch coming back looked at a very good, pleasing performance. This week probably maybe no Jeremy Finlayson. How will you set up? Will it be a 2-ruck situation maybe this week, or is it just SPP coming back in for a missing Jez?
Yeah, well, Pep's has obviously got to come back in. I'm not sure if that been... is Jez missing? I'm not sure whether he is yet.
Not yet, no.
So I have to wait and see what happens there. But I think we've got a good problem to have in trying to pick our team this week. Ollie's obviously, he has to come back in, and Peps he will be coming back in as well. So it's going to be tough at the selection table, how we structure up. I think the great thing about Mitch coming into the team is he showed us that he can play a different role, playing higher up the ground. And yeah, at times he was playing deep when Atul was resting or Atul on the ruck, but he showed that he can play higher up the ground. So there's flexibility with the team and what we can pick, and we'll have to wait and see what we go with.
Yeah, it's going to be bloody hard to match up on that. What Charlie with 3, Jeremy with 3, Todd 1, Georgiotis 2. They're all same but different. They bring a different skill set, and you've got to have 4 bloody good defenders to match them up because they're all threats in the air as well, Josh.
Yeah, they are. They obviously, especially George, Jez, and Toddy, the athleticism that they got to be able to get up the ground and maybe get a mismatch and then take the oppo deeper. So, as we said, it's a good problem to have. It worked for us on the weekend. We've still got a bit of water to go on the bridge to find out what exactly our perfect mix is. But the great position we're in is that they're performing.
Yeah. Fremantle at home, be another solid test. What are their strengths?
Their strength is the contest and Team D. I think they're the number one ranked team as far as defence goes in the competition. So that's their strength, and obviously we like to we can move the ball, so we're going to get a good challenge from that side of it. And then their stoppage work is is top 3, top 4 in the competition. So it looks like Sean Darcy's a chance to come back in, and the double ruck with Darcy and Jackson is going to be a tough one to come up against. So. Yeah, I think they've played some really good football, and they're obviously unlucky on the weekend.
You sort of were up against that with the Goldstein and Draper combination of the Bombers as well. That's why I was sort of interested whether you'd be thinking maybe 2 rucks against if Darcy comes back. But it works well. If Jez is playing, he plays that second ruck role really well.
Yeah, he does, and he's been obviously giving Ivana a chop out, and we think we've got a good balance there at the moment with, I guess, the way we structure up with our rucks, and it's a big challenge coming up against the two if Darcy and Jackson do play.
And Darcy Byrne-Jones just continues to hit the scoreboard. Some of he's very reliable as far as set shot routines, excellent, and he's now got 9 goals. So I think he's our leading goal kicker for the year. So doing that job really well.
He's doing the job well. He works really hard. He works up to, I guess, both ends of the ground and gets back hard in the forward line and puts pressure on. So he's been outstanding, and he's definitely a prototype with with our goal kicking and kicking straight. So he's been, since he's moved forward, he's been exceptional.
Love his new hairdo too. It's a beauty. Hey mate, all the best on the weekend, and hopefully another win for Port Adelaide.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Josh Carr, midfield coach for Port Adelaide, who, their midfield was in very good nick.
Oh, God, they're so exciting to watch. I mean,
electric.
Dare I say it?
That's the word I've been using.
Yeah. Let's do this. Locker room doubles, Port v FIVEAA. It's in the 5AA locker room. Hello, Darren.
G'day, Roxy. How are you, mate?
You'll get this right. Here's Timmy.
All right, here we go. The question is, how many goals did Connor Rowey kick last season? Go, Darren.
Or any hints?
All right, it is between 20 and 30.
27.
Okay, thank you, Darren. Let's go to Dante. Hey, Dante.
There you go, Timmy.
How many goals did Connor Rowey kick last season? We got a guess of 27 from Darren. It's lower.
23.
Thank you, Dante. That's let's go to Michael at Paynham. Did you hear that answer, Michael?
Yep. Timmy.
Okay, it's lower than 23.
Lower than 23. I'm going to say 21.
Congratulations, Michael. Right on the money. You have won those magnificent locker room tickets. 5AA locker room, Riverbank stand, pre-game dinner, halftime Balfours, 5-hour beverage package. Enjoy, my friend.
Thanks, Timmy and Rowey.
Good man. We'll enjoy that.
Oh, you have a great time. Beautiful.
Well, that's 6 o'clock news time. Very shortly, we'll speak to Zack Clough from Adelaide United.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. 5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
It has been controversial, but a rehab facility in Glenelg, 12 rehabilitation beds, it now has final approval, so it will open within weeks. Health Minister Chris Picton.
We need services in our community to help people in terms of needing rehabilitation for drug and alcohol problems.
Stacey Lee. Weekday afternoons from 1:30.
This is it now. Glenelg residents might be concerned, but too bad for them, it's going ahead.
It is going ahead.
On 5AA. Always Adelaide. Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
A shower or two tonight, down to 11, cloudy tomorrow and 20. With the 6 o'clock news, I'm Mel Usher.
Experience the 2024 new-gen Mitsubishi Triton with 10 years warranty and servicing. Test drive at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Gather Round 2024 has delivered big bucks for SA. Stakeholders have been tallying the figures for the 4-day festival of footy. Premier Peter Malinauskas has told Rowey and Timmy G it's grown significantly in 12 months.
The numbers that we've got up until this point are, to be honest, they're exceptional. One of the industries that measures things pretty quickly is the hotel industry. They know exactly what their revenue per available room is. That data is uploaded. And this time last year we were celebrating the fact that Gather Round had been the best weekend in the history of the state in terms of that metric, and this year we outperformed that by about 15%.
AFL Chief Andrew Dillon also blown away by the sheer volume of footy fans in SA.
265,011 fans attended the matches. We had an average attendance at all the venues that was an increase from last year. We had over 100,000 attendees to our live site. We had 15,000 free footies given away.
Today, the first game for 2025 was locked in. Players will head to the Barossa next year for the first time. $40 million will be spent overhauling the Lindock Sports Ground. The federal government is promising a better deal for all Australians as a result of proposed supermarket reforms. An inquiry is recommending a voluntary code of conduct for grocery giants be made mandatory. It's also calling for massive fines for companies who breach the code. Treasurer Jim Chalmers says it's about bringing consumer prices down while ensuring farmers are still paid fairly.
The whole point of this interim report is how do we make the code tougher? How do we make it compulsory? Better dispute resolution processes and bigger penalties for people who do the wrong thing. The current voluntary code is too easy to walk away from, and we want to change that.
Qantas frequent flyers will have more choice in how they book flights using points following a major overhaul by the airline. Eddie Meyer has the story.
It's been a major gripe of Qantas frequent flyer members. They have the points but haven't been able to book flights. In a long-awaited revamp of the scheme, Qantas says it's been listening. As well as 5 million Classic reward seats this year, there's now a new tier called Classic Plus with 20 million seats. It offers more flexibility and availability, but unlike the original program, Classic Plus seats vary like normal airfares, meaning you'll have to use more points, especially during peak times. Classic Plus reward seats can be booked now for international flights from July.
Cardiologists are confident Ozempic could be the answer to decreasing the risk of heart attack and stroke. The US Food and Drug Administration has approved weight loss drugs for the treatment of cardiovascular disease. Victor Chang Institute Chief Executive Professor Jason Kovacic says it would open up treatment options in Australia.
We've previously only been able to have drug therapy for blood pressure, cholesterol and glucose or diabetes. And this really opens up a fourth treatment option for cardiovascular disease patients, which is treating people with overweight and obesity, which I think is really exciting.
There are tributes today for Gary Van Egmond. The Australian concert promoter has died at the age of 82. He was behind the Dire Straits Brothers in Arms tour in the 1980s, which made the Guinness Book of Records. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Armani, Canali, Xenia. Find them all at Ignition for Men, Adelaide's home of luxury menswear, 54 Paynham Road, Stepney.
The Crows are yet to get out of first gear this season. They're sitting at 15 on the ladder with no wins heading into round 5. Carlton await on Saturday. Assistant coach Nathan Van Berlo confident they can quickly turn their season around despite a disastrous start.
We'll keep getting our hands dirty and get to work and turn things around as quickly as we can because we care and we know we can be playing better than what we are.
Port's Jeremy Finlayson is still waiting to hear what punishment the league will impose after he used a homophobic slur against an opponent during Gather Round. Meantime, Mitch Georgiades is happy to be back after a long layoff, and a win in round 4 was the icing on the cake.
To come out and put a performance in like that and stamp our authority, which was really nice, and for a first game back it was a good one to be a part of.
And Winx's foal has fetched $10 million at the Inglis Easter yearling sale in Sydney, smashing previous records. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Heathwell, got a crash at the Airport Race Road near Stafford Grove. Solid delays affecting Green Hill Road on the drive home. Ridge Haven, Burstwater Main, North East Road near Carter Street, speeds at 40. And we've got some works at Lonsdale, which are a bit slow too. Dyson Road near O'Sullivan's Beach Road. Cameras tonight, McGill Road, McGill and Main Road at Wollonga. Urgent family meeting. All-inclusive family deals have landed at Flight Centre. Save 25% on a 7-night Club Med Bali stay from $5,650. Hurry, book now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Down to 11 tonight with a shower or two. Cloudy tomorrow 20, Wednesday cloudy 21, Thursday partly cloudy 22. Right now it's 15 degrees. Now let's check what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Thanks, I'm Kate Collins. Tonight's headlines. The Barossa will host at least one gather-round match next year. A speeding driver confronted in court by the Adelaide man whose life he changed forever. A supermarket's code of conduct to better protect customers and producers. And the full trial of mobile phone detection cameras in Adelaide about to begin. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
What starts with A and ends with E, supplements for you and me.
Live life to the full with Arbor Vitae, the anti-inflammatory supplement made from natural ingredients. Arbor Vitae provides relief from the symptoms of mild arthritis and joint pain. It helps maintain healthy blood glucose and cholesterol levels and improves cognitive performance. For Tracy from New South Wales, Arbor Vitae has saved her career. She's a cake maker by trade and suffered with sore hands for years. After trying Arbor Vitae, all her pain disappeared, and she thanks Arbor Vitae for saving her career. Arbor Vitae health supplements are now on sale at Chemist Warehouse, Australia's cheapest chemist. arborvitae.com.au. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
Arbor Vitae.
Back in '69, Frank Hutchison started a journey when he met Bill King, who ran a remote travel business. King needed four-wheel drive parts so strong, so reliable, they'd make the return trip after enduring the rigours of the Aussie outback. This forged Terrain Tamer's beginnings. Over 50 years later, Frank and his team continued to innovate and create parts strong enough to survive the toughest terrains on the planet. And best of all, the customer is still king. Terrain Tamer, parts that will get you home.
Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. To keep essential pathology affordable and accessible for all Australians, visit keeppathologyBulkBuild.com.au. Okay, you've found your ideal block of land. Perfect location, perfect lifestyle. Now, it's time to stroll through the Urban at the Selector Homes Display Village. Intelligently designed for a narrow block, the Urban is packed with space to suit a young family or your upcoming retirement. Contemporary facades, stone facing, stunning courtyard. You'll make the neighbours jealous. Visit the Urban at the Selector Homes Display Village, Port Wakefield Road, Burton.
At Coles, there's great value hands down on biscuits. Like selected Arnott's cream biscuits, 200 to 250 gram, now half price at just $2 each. Just $2. That's great value, hands down at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
It's no surprise that Alfred James Funeral Homes is there for families in their time of need. They've been doing so for over 100 years. What may be surprising is the lengths they'll go to help you pay tribute to the life journey of your loved one. A song choice that's unconventional. A eulogy that's both heartwarming and hilarious. Oh, and launching their ashes into orbit on a SpaceX rocket. Pre-plan yours with us now. Alfred James Funeral Homes. Honouring lives in extraordinary ways.
Baby, here I am, I'm a man on the scene.
Kia's most awarded SUV just got better. Get ready for the new, refined 7-seat Kia Sorento. Now with a dual 12.3-inch panoramic display and Kia Connect technology. Visit kia.com.au to find out more.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
10 minutes after 6 on this Monday evening, daylight savings is over. It's dark outside for the first commute home from work for the week of 2024, so it's a little bit different out there for us all. We're all adjusting. The Samful Show begins at 6:30 tonight. Very excited about that. The two-time flag winner in Norwood, Matt Panos, to join us in half an hour's time.
What a GF off his own boot.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Off his own boot.
Well, off the own boot, I'll tell you what.
Oh,
yes. Adelaide United have kept their hopes alive of playing finals. A terrific victory over in the West, 4-2. And one of the men that made it happen is their striker, Zack Clough. G'day, Zack.
Hey, guys. How are we?
Hey, mate, that was a really incredible game. They score the first two, and then we come back and score 4 goals. But it was a really hot contest, and I mean hot in the way it was played, but also conditions. That was nasty.
Yeah, the conditions were extremely tough to play in. I think it was about 36 degrees, and the sun was beaming down at kickoff at 3 p.m. over there.
Oh.
So yeah, it was really tough. But yeah, the 3 points is all that mattered at this stage of the year, and to keep our hopes alive, we keep going now with 4 games to go, and we stay confident, and hopefully we can put some more wins together.
Well, you did that really well. I know that there was 4 drink breaks then scheduled, and I think that the first one probably helped us just gather our thoughts a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first drinks break, I think it was still 0-0 actually, and then as soon as we went back out after the drinks break, I think we conceded a goal, and then another one went in straight after that. But it felt like on the pitch we still felt like we could get a result there. We still in possession. We was creating good opportunities, and we felt like we was going to score every time we went forward. And that helps when you got Nesta, Steph, Hiroshi, and myself. I think we've been linking up quite well in the last few weeks, and the results have picked up.
Looked fantastic. What I loved about Nestri's game was he was basically the assistant, and he made some really unselfish decisions to get the ball across into better positions.
Yeah, and I think throughout the year, I think you can see now his decision-making has improved so much from the start of the year, and he's still only 18, and he's a really exciting prospect, and with his decision-making improving, it'll only mean he'll get better, and more assists and more goals are going to come for him.
Zach, what triggers have we pulled to be this attacking? What have we done? We've obviously clearly found our best 11. I know we had some changes throughout the season, but the chemistry and the link and the connection... Oh, God, it's a pleasure to watch at the moment. Where's it been?
Yeah, I know. We've had a frustrating middle of we had some tough games, to be fair. I think we went away to some tough teams, and we nearly ground out results. And I think if we could have got maybe 10 more points, we'd be in a great position now. And I think we probably could have throughout the year. We've probably dropped some silly points along the way. Yeah, we probably lacked the consistency with the team selection because of injuries and people missing for other reasons. But yeah, I think right now we're in a good position. We're in good shape and confident going into the last 4 games.
Well, Central Coast have only won 1 of their last 5. Wellington only 2 of their last 5. Melbourne 1 of their last 5. I mean, sides would be quivering in their boots if we could sneak in, because we could do some bloody damage with that firepower, Zach, up front.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think we have to be confident. We need to keep building each week now, and who knows, if we can sneak in, then I'm sure we could cause a few upsets.
Hey, loved your goal, but gee, you nearly curled another one in after that. Mate, you're striking it well.
Yeah, it was. I obviously felt a bit confident after I put the first one in, so I thought I'd try my luck a couple of minutes later, and it was really close. But yeah, unfortunately, it hit the wrong side of the bar, and it just bounced out.
Yeah, it was a fair old shot. I've loved Hiroshi this year. I just reckon he always gives us a different look up front. You know, we love setting it up on the top of his scon. He whacks it in. But all these goals were by foot this time, and I thought very impressive as well.
Yeah, he's a brilliant striker to play with. I think he's into double figures for the year now. He's very clever. He's just a clever footballer to play with, and he always will score goals. So, yeah, he's great for me to play with, because if I put balls into the box, I know he's going to be there or thereabouts to put it in the net.
I've had a look at the next 4 games. It's MacArthur home, Western United, who at 11th position. You've got then the top team, Central Coast away, and Brisbane. There's enough points there, Zach. I've worked it out on my calculator. There's enough points there to get us in, I reckon.
Yeah, well, hopefully you're right, mate, and we can go into each game now and be confident and try and win every game, and I think that'll put us in a good position.
Now, young Zach, I can say you're young, Zach, because you're under 30. Are we going to keep you? I mean, where are you at with your contract?
I signed a new contract a couple of months ago, so I'm here for quite a long time now. 2 more years at least. So.
Oh, brilliant.
I think I'll be sticking around. It's a great city to be in, a great club to play for.
Did you get amongst the AFL Footy Festival? Have you got an AFL team yet, Zach, or are you too busy with your club?
No, I like to watch the Crows. Not had a great start, but I watched the game on Thursday night, and then unfortunately we was away, so I didn't really get to see much of the festival. But Yeah, I like to watch the Crows. I'm getting into it a bit more now.
Hey,
Well,
Timmy.
the conditions were a lot better than
We
they
got
were in
coffee.
Perth, that's for sure. So,
Well done, mate.
hey, mate, all the best. This Friday night, our last home game, Friday the 12th of April. So, give the fans at Cooper Stadium an absolute ripper.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Good work, mate. It's one of our key forwards in Zack Clough.
We are no nonsense at the moment.
Mm.
We've got nothing to lose. We're playing like that.
We've got we've won our last 3
I
in
know.
a row, which is awesome. I didn't want to pick you up, but Central Coast have only lost 1 in their last 5.
Hang on.
That's why they're top.
Yep, they're flying.
Bloody honestly,
they are flying.
they
Yeah.
are. Sorry, I am dyslexic.
Who are you looking at?
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading 1, 2, 3, 4 green and 1 red, and I reversed it.
You did.
My brain reverses all of that.
But don't worry,
What
we'll
is
give them a
wrong
run
with
for
me?
their money as well. But even if we only beat the other 4, we're in.
I've got
Simple as that.
ENT.
Good luck.
But as you said, we're hitting the back of the onion net, which is something we
Come
haven't done really
on,
all season.
smashing it.
8 goals in the last 2 weeks.
His full name is Zack Paul John Clough. Why wouldn't it be John Paul after all the popes?
Because there's too many Frenchmen are called that, so Englishmen don't like that.
Zack Paul John Clough.
17 after 6. Morio calls next. Get on the line, 8223 0000.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
Yesterday afternoon, I jumped in the car and headed up the hill to Mount Barker. They were all pretty thrilled.
A real carnival atmosphere, which I think really touches on what the Gather Round has brought to Adelaide.
The amount of people that's come through here, what it's done for the tourism of it, the council's done a great job again.
Matthew Pantelis.
We saw it and we were like, that looks like a fantastic trip. Some nice eating and some wineries in between.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
What good is learning if you're not sharing or discussing it with the person next to you? It's why so many people love learning with WEA, face-to-face learning in a friendly, like-minded group. For learning you'll love, visit wea-sa.com.au.
Are you thinking about a sea change? Where you can walk to the beach and be part of a close community? Think Oakford Homes at Encounter Bay. You can live in a brand new low-maintenance home with all facilities close by. Fixed price turnkey packages, flat land, ready to build. Move in now or invest for the future. Oakford Homes at Encounter Bay. Come down for a drive and look through our display village and see why Stage 1 is nearly sold out. Oakford Homes, a statement of quality. oakfordhomes.com.au.
Your knowledge and skills have the power to brighten our world, so let them shine by volunteering at a Vinnie's store, where your passion for fashion, taste for trinkets and flair for furnishings become an invaluable service to the community. You'll soon discover how a little care and kindness changes lives, including yours. Do good, feel good, and learn new skills while you're at it. Sign up to volunteer at your local Vinnie's store today. Visit vinnies.org.au/get involved.
There's mega deals on this week at your local IGA. Like Arnott Shapes, 130 to 190 gram selected varieties, $2 each, half price. Specials across the store right now, only at IGA. Offer ends April 9. Participating stores only. Excludes Foodland.
Home is where the heart is. Everyone deserves to live in their home in complete comfort. For those who need care support to remain at home, Always Care is always there. Providing everything from nursing and medical treatment to personal care, such as showering, cleaning or cooking. If you or a loved one requires at-home care and has a gold or white TVA card, ask your GP about Always Care. Find out more at alwayscare.com.au.
Holiday Wonders are celebrating new incredible day trips, including their magical Wonders of Safari tour with convenient departures from Adelaide City and Mitcham. Get up close with exotic and native animals at Monado Safari Park, one of the world's largest open safari zoos, while learning from an experienced keeper how they're being saved from extinction. Plus, enjoy a delicious morning tea and picnic lunch all included from just $140 per person. holidaywonders.com.au.
What starts with A and ends with E? Supplements for you and me.
Arbor Vitae health supplements are now available at Chemist Warehouse for just $49.99 a bottle. You save over $19 a bottle at Chemist Warehouse.
Arbor Vitae.
There's a lot to love about learning just about anything with WEA. Real-time, face-to-face learning with like-minded people. WEA has 22 language courses on offer and over 80 cooking and wine appreciation courses. Visit wea-sa.com.au.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
21 minutes after 6, Matt Panos is joining us shortly at 6:30 for the Samful Show, the very first edition of it. And if you would like to see some world-class athletics, it returns to Adelaide from Thursday the 11th, that's Wednesday the 17th, for the Chemist Warehouse Australian Athletics Championships at SA Athletics Stadium at Mile End. We have a VIP pass to give away for you and a friend. Saturday the 13th of April, 8223 0055. Get your calls in now.
Absolutely do that. What are you
Sorry,
laughing
before
at?
Vicky, Unique Home Style Food Text, we love them. Ro, from your lofty height of your moral pedestal, do I come across as being on a moral pedestal? I don't reckon I do. Well, because I live in a glass house, I don't throw stones. I mean, I've done everything wrong and said everything wrong. I'm trying to get better.
That's true.
Who's this? Brenton from Fullerton. From your lofty pedestal, can you tell me what you as a parent would prefer of your footballing son, a homophobic slur or cocaine use? Then consider the respective penalties issued by the AFL. I'm at zero tolerance for cocaine, and if James was to be a cocaine user, he would get no love from me. And as a homophobic slur goes, well, he's as educated as anyone, and he educates me. So I don't know where you're coming from, Turbo. You clearly don't know me, and you don't know my son. Hello, Vicky.
Oh, hi. How are you going?
Good, Vic.
Good. Lovely show, Rowey and Treaders. And I'm really pleased for Port Adelaide. They won really well. But I've got a theory.
Ooh.
I've been a one-eyed Crow supporter since day one.
Good.
And I'll never give up on them.
Good.
And they got it in them. But my theory is what happened last year at the end of the season took the wind out of their sails. I don't think they've really recovered from that. Because I've learnt in psychology classes, if you don't give up on the past, if you keep thinking about the past, you can't move on.
Yes.
And I reckon the wind was taken out of their sails by being cheated by that goal. And they deserved to be there in the finals last year, and they deserve to be there in the finals this year. But all this negativity and people blaming everyone else, it's not a blame game. How do you think the guys feel when they hear all this on the media?
Yeah.
They need a bit of positivity, and they need to have someone talking them up, not talking them down all the time.
Fantastic call, Vicky. That is
well done,
That is
Vic.
so true.
Glad she's so positive too. Love
Well,
a positive attitude.
A foundation member deserves a $50 Powers voucher, I reckon.
There you go. Well done, Vicky. Congratulations.
All yours, Vic.
All right, let's go to Nords. Hey, John.
Hi, Tim, Stephen.
Hey, how you going, Scooter Head? Have you got it yet?
No, I'm supposed to pick it up tomorrow, mate.
Oh,
yeah,
come
tomorrow.
on.
It's been a bit of a process, but
Do you
anyway,
want me to buy it off
getting
you?
it tomorrow.
Oh,
Hey?
I'm looking for a scooter.
Could be a sale,
Yeah,
Johnny.
I don't
Could
know
be a
what I'm
sale.
gonna do with it.
All right, I'll give you some cold hearts, mate.
Well, Rowey's
I'll get your
interested.
men to speak to my men.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, whatever.
Stephen, I'm pretty disappointed. Adelaide Footy Club, you know, that's a multi-billion-dollar club, and blokes like Justin Reid and them, they're accountable. Any multi-billion, if they serve that up, they'll be asked to attend around the table, please explain. Look, and some of these senior leadership group players, I know they played a little bit better last week, but the week before they were disgusting. Sorry, there was no leadership at all. And if they think that they recruited Rankin's going to be a Mr. Fix-It, sorry, he's a very handy in the forward line, but not a non-baller. Not a non-baller whatsoever.
Well, there's a pinch hitter he is, but we need more talent. You look across the road to Port Adelaide, they're just oozing it. Yeah, well, you know where my anger and frustration's level to, and it's called this management. Hello, Globe Derby Park, Gregory.
Hey, mate, how you going?
Go for it, Greg. Yeah, go for it, buddy.
I noticed on Roaming Brian, although I like to call him Roaming Moron, on Saturday.
He's funny, Greg. Come on.
Look, on the, after the game, he loses all things sometimes. You know, it's like he doesn't do any homework, and sometimes he just goes bypasses things. But on after the game, he was talking to Premier Malinauskas, and Peter Malinauskas was about to introduce, I think it's a Chinese guy, as one of the major sponsors of Port Adelaide. And he just totally ignored him as if he wasn't even there. You know, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. Like, he just totally and utterly ignored him.
Wow.
And you know, if I was Port Adelaide, I'd be filthy about that, because, you know, that's one of your major sponsors.
Yeah. Is that Mr. Gupta from Whyalla? Is it?
I'm not sure who it was.
GFG.
I was on air.
Oh, you're on air. Oh, that can happen. You can make the odd mistake. How's this one? Crows get treated differently by the AFL. Oh, glad someone's picked that up. We were fined $50,000 for not wearing face masks when every other club was seen doing a similar thing that week. Mike from Millbank. True. That was so true.
Hey, just on the Crows front as well, before we disappear for the Sample Show next, Cozzy Pickett, we know he got handed a one-match ban for his bump on Jake Saligo. He went to smother, and then once he knew the ball was passed, he chose to bump in the head. Well, Melbourne are going to challenge Cozzy Pickett's one-match ban at the tribunal tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's something to watch once more. So interesting, once again, Cozzy Pickett to the tribunal with a head-high bump.
The Pickett name is synonymous with bumps, isn't it? I don't know it's his uncle, but the old apple hasn't fallen too far from that tree. I love that kid. I just hope he can stay playing the way he does on the edge. He doesn't need many touches, can turn a game. It's
exciting to watch, no
1%er.
doubt.
Love it.
27 after 6. All right, give it a big pump up. Matt Panos is going to join us straight after this break. He's a two-time with the Norwood Footy Club, but he is representing 5AA on our brand new Samful show, which will go through the entire season's worth of Samful footy. Stay tuned, Samful fans. We'll get your calls on next. Have a great evening.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
David Penberthy and Will Goodies, 5AA Breakfast.
Well, let's go now to a triumphant Premier. The morning after the party that was Gather Round in South Australia. But Premier, it sounds like another big announcement.
You're a prophet, Will.